Chapter 1745, Annihilation. Chapter 1745, Annihilation. East Sky Gate Tribe went all out. The demon beast they were riding on came flying from all directions. High up in the valley, Long Fei could see everything. Long Fei smirked and said, "I want you to go all out to flank him from the back, and blow up his ass." Long Fei rushed forward with the devil's sword in hand. Lu Qin and Mu Bing followed closely behind. "Kill. Leave no one alive," Long Fei ordered. He wanted the East Sky Gate Tribe to pay the price for everything. He rushed down the hill. Long Fei killed anyone he saw, not letting a single person off. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing East Sky Gate Tribe subordinate Luo for obtaining 200 experience, holy power value plus 10, and abnormal value plus 1. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing East Sky Gate Tribe subordinate Luo for obtaining 200 experience, holy power value plus 10, and abnormal value plus 1. Congratulations, player. The system kept beeping. Long Fei killed one with one sword strike. He definitely would not cripple them. All of a sudden, the valley was filled with wails, howls, and pleas for mercy. When you bullied the goddess sex disciples, did you think about today? The anger in Long Fei's heart did not disappear. He thought about the miserable state of the old granny's death. She died after countless torments. Thinking about those disciples being dismembered by the demon beast, the anger in his heart continuously grew. At this time, the East Sky Gate Tribe's army of disciples crazily encircled and annihilated the King Kong Fierce Bear. The valley's defenses were weak, so Long Fei and the other two were not obstructed at all. Burn this place. A fire ignited East Sky Gate Tribe. Thick smoke billowed and flames soared into the sky. At this moment, Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe suddenly reacted, "Crap. Return to the valley, quick." It was not normal for King Kong Fierce Bear to appear outside the valley, but facing the Bear King, he did not think too much. Now that he saw the thick smoke billowing out of the valley, his heart sank. A strange whistle sounded. The demon beast that was rushing out from all directions quickly rushed towards East Sky Gate Tribe Valley. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The sound of it shook the sky and shook the earth. Long Fei stood at the entrance to the valley with Mu Bing and Mu Bing standing to his left and right. "Is it the Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe?" Mu Bing pointed to the strongest, biggest, and fiercest person in the group, who was carrying a demon beast, and said, "It's him. Sec Master, you must be careful." Strong? What's the use of being strong in front of the blasting fist? Long Fei's mouth curved up slightly. He looked at the ferocious demon beast and let out a few roars, and said, "Seems like it is still the leader of these demon beasts. If that's the case, King Kong." Long Fei shouted. Instantly, the King Kong Fierce Bear that had been silent all this time suddenly moved after receiving Long Fei's order. Its hind legs abruptly pushed up, and its huge body charged out. That rhythm, that feeling was so strong that it could explode. Some towering trees, some gigantic rocks were like being curd in front of the King Kong Fierce Bear. They directly smashed into it and blew everything away. It was the same for the demon beast that rushed up from all directions. In front of him, there were nothing but a bunch of chickens and dogs, and the moment they got any closer, their hearts would be shattered by his aura. Rumble! The King Kong Fierce Bear landed on the ground and stood in front of Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe. Its eyes darkened, staring at him. It opened its mouth, revealing its two extremely thick and strong fangs, and roared at the demon beast. The sound waves were like lightning. Crack! 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 Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe was directly sent flying by the sound wave. His body continuously flipped in the air in an extremely sorry state. As for his mount, it curled into a ball and transformed into a shrimp. It did not dare to look straight at the King Kong Fierce Bear. Kill! Boom! The King Kong Fierce Bear swatted down with its paw. Boom! The demon beast was smashed into meat paste in an instant, and the system rang out with the notification of the experience gained. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 7-star god. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei and his bodyguard Xiao Yin for leveling up. Current level, 32. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei and bodyguard Xiao Yin for leveling up and obtaining Heavenly Flame and Pure Lotus Demon Fire. Damn, so fast. Another level up? Long Fei was secretly shocked. He had only leveled up 1 level, yet Xiao Yin's bodyguard had leveled up 2 levels. Long Fei secretly thought in his heart, "When will I bring you out for a walk, haha?" Xiao Yin would eventually become a Do-Di Flame Emperor. At that time, his power would be limitless, and he would be an existence that would destroy the world. Long Fei would not get him out unless it was absolutely necessary, because it would become Long Fei's strongest killing move. Once the Heavenly Flame appeared, the world would be destroyed. 108 different types of flames, one after another, struck your body. Let alone the gods in the main temple. Even the sovereigns of this plane would be killed by them. Just waiting for that day. The King Kong Fierce Bear did not stop killing the demon beast leader. Instead, it fiercely rushed forward towards the flying lord of East Sky Gate Tribe. However, he was stopped by Long Fei, who said, "He's mine. Kill all of these demon beasts for me. Remember, it's all of them." Long Fei could use the King of Beasts to control these demon beasts. However, no, because these demon beasts ate the corpses of the female disciples, so they had to die too. The King Kong Fierce Bear turned and rushed out, charging into the group of demon beasts and massacring crazily. Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe stood still. The disciples of the East Sky Gate Tribe also quickly jumped down from the back of the demon beast and surrounded Long Fei in a fan shape. Without King Kong Fierce Bear, they were not afraid. Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe's face was filled with anger. He said solemnly, "Kid, we have no grievances and no grievances. Why must you attack my East Sky Gate Tribe? Who exactly are you?" He did not know Long Fei. In the valley behind Long Fei, the flames were raging and the East Sky Gate Tribe was almost completely burnt up. Long Fei grinned and sneered. "Without enmity? My name is Long Fei." Long Fei, Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe, said, "I don't know that Long Fei." "Don't worry. You'll know soon enough." The cold smile on Long Fei's face carried a dense, killing intent as he said, "Also, I have another identity, Goddess Sect Master." And then, Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe's eyes darkened. One of the elders immediately said, "Sect Leader, those 2 women are disciples of Goddess Sect. I have seen them before." "All right, brat, I'll give you a chance to live and hand over the Goddess Scroll. Today, I can let you die without any pain, or else I will let you experience the taste of 10,000 beasts devouring your heart." The Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe's gaze immediately shook. If he could obtain the Goddess Scroll and comprehend the profoundness within, it wouldn't matter even if he destroyed 10 East Sky Gate Tribes. Long Fei said, "Did something go wrong with your brain? Kid, you're courting death." Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe shouted. Long Fei sneered. "I wonder who's courting death." As soon as he finished, Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe disappeared. Chapter 1746, Explosive Die. Chapter 1746, Explosive Die. So fast. Almost no time for Long Fei to react. It disappeared in an instant. Long Fei frowned. Lu Qin and Mu Bing both brandished their swords, wanting to block but were blocked by Long Fei, and said, "You two be careful." As soon as he finished, Long Fei moved, "Virtual mirror. Open." Buzz, buzz, buzz. One by one, the void door began to open. The corner of Long Fei's mouth moved, and he said, "High level, fast speed. It's very amazing, isn't it? Let's see if your speed is faster than mine." Shua. As Long Fei passed through the void door, his figure became completely silent, and even his aura instantly disappeared, as if he had instantly become invisible. Boom! Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe punched down. He punched the air. His body fell down. Disappeared? Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe's expression shook. After faintly sensing Long Fei's aura, he disappeared as well. He immediately sneered. A spatial-type cultivation technique. Kid, is this the cultivation technique that you learned from the goddess scroll? Spatial cultivation techniques were extremely rare. Everything is in the realm of levels. Even if you cultivate in a powerful technique, you are only slightly higher than warriors of the same realm, but the level of the Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe is much higher than Long Fei. Arrogant beast boxing. Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe roared out, and the clothes on his upper body was immediately shattered into pieces by the force of the impact. He clenched his fists, and his muscles expanded. A punch landed on the ground. Rumble. The ground cracked, and in that instant, a force directly struck the air. The hundreds of void door in the surroundings shattered, unable to withstand the force at all. Walala. Walala. Long Fei kept retreating explosively, his aura a little chaotic. His heart was tight, and he thought to himself, the F***CK, so strong? It seems like everything is still above the level. I haven't even been able to fully display the power of my cultivation technique. If Long Fei and Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe were the same level, his arrogant beast boxing could not break Long Fei's virtual mirror at all. This was the advantage of rank. He still hasn't come out, right? Seems like the spatial attribute cultivation technique you cultivate in is of a very high grade. Boy, I still have the same words. As long as you hand over the goddess scroll, I'll make sure you die without the slightest pain. Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe looked around, searching for Long Fei's hiding place. The power in his body was also slowly circulating. In that instant, Long Fei shouted, "Murderous mode, activate. Killing technique. Tyrant. Wong." The red light on the devil's sword shone brightly as a brutal devil intent was released without restraint. It shot down from the sky and struck at Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe's head. Shwa. It was as fast as lightning. An elder shouted, "Clan Master." Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe did not expect that there would still be void door in the sky, but his reaction was also extremely fast. He slightly lifted his eyes, and with a hoarse step, his body slightly sank. In that instant, his skin was like red-hot iron, 10,000 beast defense. Boom! The demon's sword pierced the top of his head, and a red light shot out. How sharp was the demon's sword? However, they could not even get a centimeter in. The top of Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe's head was like steel, extremely tough. Giggle. Long Fei pressed down with all his might, but it was still not enough. He cursed, "Fuck, this old man will not kill you, this boss." The cooldown time of the blasting fist was not up yet. Not available. Moreover, the blasting fist had been taught a lesson by the King Kong Fierce Bear. So unless it was at the most crucial moment, Long Fei did not want to use it. He had been killed in an instant. The only thing he could do was make Long Fei rely more on the blasting fist, but its cooldown time was too long. Once it was over, Long Fei would become a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. "Lame duck, you can't do it, huh?" Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe said in disdain. "Your strength is not even enough to tickle me." Just now, he had only sunk slightly. Now, Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe steadied his body. He raised his eyes and grabbed towards the demon's sword above him. Long Fei's hands were quick and quickly flicked. "You want to leave?" "No way." Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe roared in anger. He flipped his body and immediately flew into the air, his 5 fingers forming a claw, grabbing towards Long Fei's chest. "Leader, be careful." "Master." At this moment, Long Fei was still 5 meters away from the nearest void door. This distance was enough for Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe to catch him. "Flee. I'm tired of escaping. Lousy, don't ever run again in this life." "On what basis? Do you think that your father will run away just because you are very strong?" The anger in Long Fei's heart raged. His body suddenly stabilized in mid-air, and the idea bellowed, "Holy Spirit Angel, Holy Spirit Defense." Buzz! Holy Spirit Angel rushed out and immediately released a strand of protective power onto Long Fei's body. 99% resistance. Long Fei's defense was absurd in the remaining 3 minutes. He didn't dodge or evade. He just charged forward. Shwa! Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe pierced towards Long Fei's chest with his claw, Wong, with his strength released, he simply cannot hold on. Moreover, the joints of his fingers began to crack from the impact, and his strength was reflected back. Huh. Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe had never seen a woman so beautiful with wings and dressed in revealing bones before. She immediately became excited. There's something inside the goddess scroll, right? Haha, he really is powerful. Lame duck, quickly hand it over. Trash like you are not worthy of having it. Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe turned sinister. He retracted his hand and jumped, staring at Holy Spirit Angel with excitement in his eyes. Beautiful. It's too beautiful. A woman like that is the most beautiful thing in the world. Goddess scroll, so the one inside is the goddess. Ha! Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe became fanatical. At this time, Long Fei's body disappeared once again. With a heaven-defying defense, this should be the best time to attack. Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe sneered and said, "Lame duck, you can't escape." Ha ha ha. While they were talking, his eyes stared straight at Holy Spirit Angel's chest. Holy Spirit Angel was a little displeased and said, "Disciple, do you want me to kill him?" "No need. He's mine." While they were talking, Long Fei descended from the sky once again, identical to the sword technique from before. Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe disdainfully said, "Another sword attack like that. Lame duck is simply useless. Do you understand? You are not my match at all." "Is that so?" Long Fei's sword pierced down. His strength was still the same. Even if he used all his strength, there wouldn't be much of a change. Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe was the same as well. He released the defensive power of the wild beast, and his body became like an iron wall as he disdainfully said, "You overestimate yourself." Everything was the same. The only difference was there was still a King Kong fierce bear above Long Fei's head. Long Fei's sword pierced down. The King Kong fierce bear landed a palm strike on the demon's sword's hilt. "I'll nail you to death. Explode for me." Chapter 1747, Bodyguard Upgraded. Chapter 1747, Bodyguard Upgraded. The infernal sword was like a nail. The King Kong fierce bear was like a hammer. He moved at full power. The hammer smashed down. "I will nail you to death." Long Fei roared. Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe was also dumbfounded. He never thought that the King Kong fierce bear would suddenly rush over and face the pressure of the bear paw. The only thing he could do right now was to increase his defense. However, too weak. The King Kong fierce bear's power suddenly exploded. Rumble, rumble, rumble. With a series of thunderous booms, the King Kong fierce bear seemed to have broken through the barrier as it smashed its palm onto the demon's sword, and the demon's sword instantly penetrated through it. Crack! Just like a nail, it pierced straight through the chrysanthemum of Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe. It was firmly nailed to the ground. It was also at this moment that the gash on the top of Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe's head dropped to the bottom with a whoosh, turning into 0. One-hit kill. The system sounded out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe for obtaining 190,000 experience, 20,000 holy power value, and 1 abnormal value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Arrogant Beast Boxing. Do you wish to cultivate it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Wild Beast Defense. Do you wish to cultivate it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Advanced Beast Mastery. Do you wish to cultivate it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 101 Divine Spirit Pills. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Golden Feather Sword. A series of notifications sounded. The chiming didn't stop, and it felt great. Haha, it's great to have a boss. Hearing these notifications, Long Fei was extremely excited. He then looked at the items that were dropped and muttered, "What are these abnormal values used for? Golden Feather Sword? I have a demon sword, I don't need it." Then, only 2 techniques are left. Defense. If you don't want to, the best defense is an attack. And if you could just kill him instantly, then the only thing left is the Arrogant Beast Boxing. Long Fei made up his mind. And then, Long Fei gave the order. Release the metamorphic energy value. The arrogant beast boxing. Ding! Metamorphic energy value at 0. Abnormal arrogant beast boxing. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Berserk Beast Divine Fist. Do you wish to learn it? After transforming, there was one more word to describe the arrogant beast boxing, Wild God's Fist. There didn't seem to be much change, but just the word God was enough to crush everything. And then, Long Fei moved and said, Cultivate. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for training Berserk Beast God Fist. Cultivation Technique, Berserk Beast Divine Fist Grade. Pervert Consumption, 1000 Holy Power Value Cooldown. 600-second description. The Raging Beast God Fist has 108 moves. Each move is the power of a divine beast. Depending on the player's cultivation, it can be the power of a Qilin, the power of the Underworld's Guardian, or it can also be the power of Ninetails. Simply put, the power of every one of the 108 punches was different. These power were all from certain type of wild beast, demon beastess, could also be divine beastess, ancient divine beastess, and also the power of those super abnormal monsters in games and anime. The strength of the nine-tailed fire fox was inevitable. If he could unleash the power of one of his punches, then Long Fei's eyes were blazing as he was ecstatic in his heart. He muttered to himself, abnormal energy is indeed strong. Long Fei was greatly surprised every time he released his metamorphic energy value. Never disappointed. This abnormal feeling. I like it, ha ha ha. However, level is the source of power for all. I need to level up quickly. Long Fei muttered to himself. At this time, Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe was instantly killed. All of the East Sky Gate Tribe disciples were scared silly. They panicked and fled everywhere. At this time, all they wanted was to live. The King Kong Fierce Bear's voice sounded in Long Fei's mind. Boss, what should we do with them? What should we do? Long Fei regained his composure. The corners of his mouth hooked up as he said, Kill them all. These were all experiences. How could he miss them? Moreover, these people deserve to die. Long Fei said that he would annihilate the East Sky Gate Tribe S, so he would definitely do it. This was the price that they had to pay. After receiving the order, the King Kong Fierce Bear roared and rushed out brazenly, killing anyone it saw without holding back. It was the king of this mountain range. Save me. Please spare my life. Long Fei, we are disciples of the God Rare Sect's assessment. If you kill us, the God Rare Sect will not let you off. Long Fei, you have already killed Lord of East Sky Gate Tribe, and you have avenged Goddess Sect. Don't kill to the end. Besides, the matters of the Goddess Sect is not limited to us. We are not the ones who killed your Goddess Sect's disciples. He kept shouting. Long Fei did not listen. He was currently testing the power of the Raging Beast God Fist. Boom! He punched out. A roaring blue-eyed tiger suddenly appeared on his fist. His fist descended, and the tiger fiercely collided with full force, directly sending the disciple flying. His chest split open as fresh blood spewed out. Instant kill. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing East Sky Gate Tribe subordinate Luo, for obtaining 500 experience, 50 holy power value, and 1 abnormal value. One more punch. Boom! With the elephant stomp, the power on Long Fei's fist changed once again, becoming even stronger. Every punch was stronger than the last, and the strength on each fist was different. 108 punches, 108 kinds of berserk beast strength. What kind of beast could he unleash would depend on Long Fei's own cultivation. If he reached a certain level, all 108 punches would be filled with the power of the divine beast. Boom! 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 The final punch. Boom! Long Fei exerted all his strength and struck out with his fist. Right above his fist, the image of a tyrant WYRM appeared. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei. Bodyguard Xiao Yin for leveling up. Current level, 33. Damn! The bodyguards have leveled up again. Long Fei looked at his own experience slot and bitterly said, I only have half of my experience, yet you have leveled up. Do you want me to live? I'm clearly the one slaughtering the monsters. You didn't do anything but leveled up first. There's no logic in the world. Are there any laws? Long Fei said with a smile. His experience did tell the bodyguard Xiao Yin to split up a little, but this did not affect Long Fei much. Not to mention, Long Fei was equally happy if Xiao Yin leveled up. He even hoped that he could give Xiao Yin all of his experience so that he could directly break through to the Great Complete Realm and reach the level of a Do Di. In that case, this bodyguard could be considered to have truly been formed. Then he would be able to walk sideways. Xiao Yin, my bodyguard. Ha! How much longer do you need? Long Fei giggled. His heart was unable to restrain his little excitement. His heart was filled with anticipation. Chapter 1748, Junior Sister, You're Thinking of Spring? Chapter 1748, Junior Sister, You're Thinking of Spring killing everything that deserved to be killed. What should be burned? The envoy of the God Rare sect, who had been enjoying the Tang family all night, walked to the entrance of the East Sky Gate Tribe Valley. Watching everything that was happening in the valley, their expressions were indifferent, and they were not too shocked. Left Envoy smiled and said, Looks like we won't be coming here anymore. And then, the two of them turned into two streaks of light and disappeared, returning to the Tang clan. Sir Envoy, you're back so soon? I heard that this year, East Sky Gate Tribe has a few talented disciples. Could it be that none of them passed? Tang Gao Yuan had some doubts. After all, the East Sky Gate Tribe was in alliance with them. The right emissary said, From today onwards, there will never be another East Sky Gate Tribe in this world. The left envoy said, Clan Leader Tang, please allow Tang Lai to make some preparations. We are about to depart. Tang Gao Yuan mumbled to himself. There's no longer an East Sky Gate Tribe in this world? What do you mean? Could it be? The East Sky Gate Tribe does not exist, and no one will destroy their entire clan? The destruction of a small sect like the East Sky Gate Tribe was a common occurrence. Not surprising. However, there weren't any forces in this area that were strong enough to destroy the East Sky Gate Tribe in minutes. Unless they met a few superpower house, they could destroy the East Sky Gate Tribe with just a thought. Tang Gao Yuan felt a chill in his heart as a wave of fear rose up. This was the world as it was. If one was not the strongest, their strongest power could be annihilated at any moment. If the Tang clan wanted to rise up, and if they didn't want to be trampled on, the only way was to firmly grab onto the God Rare sect. Tang Gao Yuan immediately nodded. I'll go get Liar. Tang Gao Yuan did not tell Tang Lai about the East Sky Gate Tribe's annihilation of the clan because he did not think that this matter had anything to do with the Tang clan. East Sky Gate Tribe's clan was exterminated. Long Fei returned to the goddess sect. Kneeling in front of the old granny's grave, Long Fei kowtowed and said, Granny, I've already made everyone in East Sky Gate Tribe pay the price. Please rest in peace. Goddess sect. Long Fei's mother had single-handedly created this sect. It had lasted for 1,000 years, and the reason why it had kept going was to wait for Long Fei to appear. Without waiting for Long Fei to make the goddess sect stronger, the guardian grandma died. Long Fei felt very uncomfortable in his heart. He still had a lot of things he wanted to ask the old woman about his mother. But now, the thread was broken again, and he didn't even know what his mother looked like. There was only one path in front of Long Fei, God Rare sect. If he wanted to leave Devil Island, he had to find a way. He wanted to know everything about his mother, so he had to enter the God Rare sect as well, because the God Rare sect was the only place her mother had gone to. Mother, no matter what price I have to pay, I will find you. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly in his heart. He then stood up and said to Lu Qin and Mu Bing, If you guys have anything you want to, go ahead. Everyone had their own aspirations. Long Fei would not force anyone to do what he wanted to do. Lu Qin stared blankly for a moment before saying, Sect Master, do you want to chase us away? Mu Bing said, We were orphans since young, and were adopted by my grandmother. Other than the goddess sect, we have never gone anywhere else. Long Fei said, The road I'm going to take is very bumpy and dangerous. You have seen it too. The old granny and the other disciples are all dead. I am afraid you all. The tragic change in the goddess sect made Long Fei once again believe that he was a calamitous star and that he was destined to be alone for the rest of his life. He could only be alone. Mu Bing said, "I am not afraid. Wherever sect master goes, we will follow. Grandma has always been waiting for your appearance. The goddess sect has always been waiting for your appearance. You are our goddess sect's hope. No matter where you go, we will follow you. This is our duty. Because you are our sect leader." Lu Qi nodded along with him, looking at Long Fei with a serious face. There was a time when she hated the man in front of her so much. Now, she was a little worried that Long Fei would not want them. It was the second time in her life she had been so worried. The first time was when he was abandoned by his parents. When he was alone in the wilderness, he had that feeling of loneliness, that feeling of being on the verge of death. Long Fei looked at them and exhaled, then said, "All right, then follow me. God Rare Sect should be beneficial to your cultivations. God Rare Sect, one of the Devil Island's Hall of Martial Arts training. Any warrior wanted to go in, and if they could be allowed to enter the God Rare Sect, it would be considered their home." Hearing Long Fei's permission, the two women immediately started laughing. Mu Bing's face reddened even more as he said in a low voice, "We even need to accompany you for 3 days." Lu Qin was startled. He stared at Mu Bing and said, "Junior sister, you are thinking of spring. Senior sister, aren't you the same? Little girl, since you dare to say senior sister, let's see if I won't slap you or not. Sovereign, save me." 2 days later, Tianyin City. When Long Fei and the other two returned to the Lan clan, Li Ruhua would wait at the city gate every day. During this time, Lei Jiu was 100 times unwilling to go to the God Rare Sect. He wanted to stay, but in the end, he was persuaded by Lanya. People should look higher. When you become a disciple of the God Rare Sect, when you have seen all the bustle in the world, when you have seen everything clearly, then you can turn around and look. If you still like me, then I will always be waiting for you here. These were Lanya's words to Lei Jiu. Lei Jiu was completely dumbstruck at the time. Lanya liked Lei Jiu, but he couldn't leave Lei Jiu behind just because he liked her. A man should do what he was told. The only thing a warrior should do was become strong. Lanya's talent was not outstanding. She was unable to meet the God Rare Sect's standard of talent for the 3rd stage, and in her heart, she yearned to enter the God Rare Sect. Her father had given her the Lan clan's burden, so even if she had to grind her teeth, she had to carry the burden. It was also reasonable for her to give her all to help Long Fei. When Long Fei became stronger, he would also become more influential in the Lan clan. 3 days later, the envoy of the God Rare Sect has arrived. A voice echoed from outside the hall. Lanya was slightly taken aback. It was a full 3 days later than the agreed time. Without much thought, Lanya personally went forward to welcome them. Left and right envoys came here very quickly, and upon seeing Lanya, an evil smile surfaced on his face as he said, "Patriarch Lan, you're getting more and more beautiful after not seeing you for a few days." Lanya felt uncomfortable, but he pretended to smile and said, "Senior envoy must be joking." Left envoy said, "I am not joking. If you are willing, as long as you accompany me for 1 night, I will make an exception and give you a special place." Her eyes were naked. He didn't try to conceal anything, and his voice sounded even more frivolous. Her face was filled with evilness as she looked at Lanya, and then moved around her chest. Chapter 1749. This daddy will scare you to death. Chapter 1749. This daddy will scare you to death, Lanya endured. Furthermore, he pretended to smile and said, "Thank you, Sir Envoy. Lan clan still needs me, so I won't be going." "Ha ha!" Left Envoy laughed, then said, "Call out all the qualified disciples that your Lan clan has recommended. We are leaving now." Lanya immediately said, "Senior Envoy, please rest for a while. I will go and call them out." And then he turned around. It was also at this time. Long Fei, Lei Jiu, and the others were already waiting in the distance, having seen everything just now. Especially Lei Jiu. He clenched his fists tightly and widened his eyes like an ox. The aura he exuded was also extremely hot, and it was filled with fury. His teeth were grinding so hard that crackling sounds could be heard. Long Fei lightly patted Lei Jio's shoulder. Lanya walked up to take a look at Lei Jio and said, "I'm fine." Lei Jio clenched his teeth so hard that they were about to shatter and said with a low voice, "Little sister, I, Lei Jio, swear to the heavens that I will personally dig out his eyes. I swear." Every word was filled with killing intent. Lanya said, "Hurry up. You can enter the God Rare sect, and even if I have to suffer even more, it's fine. Lei Jio, if you want to take care of me, then you must become stronger." Lei Jio clenched his fists. This world was like this. If you weren't strong enough, you wouldn't even be able to protect your own woman. Lei Jio was well aware of this point. Right now, he was like an ant in front of the two envoys. With a gentle squeeze, he would be crushed to death. He had to become strong. Long Fei slightly said, "Let's go." Lanya brought Long Fei and the others to the Great Hall. Other than being respectful to Li Ruhua, the other two emissaries were filled with disdain and despise for Long Fei. "Let's go. There's still people waiting outside," the left envoy said coldly. Lanya took out 2 bags of divine spirit pills and said, "Emissaries, take care of me along the way." Looking at Lanya, left envoy took it in one hand while grabbing on Lanya's small hand with his right hand. He gently caressed it and said with a smile, "Clan leader Lan, don't worry. I will definitely take good care of them. Also, if you have decided, I can bring you to the God Rare sect at any time." Lei Jio was crying blood in his heart. It was roaring. Long Fei firmly held him down. Lanya pretended that nothing had happened and said, "Thank you, Sir Envoy." Left envoy laughed lewdly, his eyes once again staring at Lanya's chest, and said without concealing it at all, "Ha." Long Fei's gaze tensed up. Lanya immediately looked towards Long Fei and gently shook his head. And then, Lanya also pulled back his hand and said, "It's getting late." Left envoy did not plan to stay any longer. He weighed the divine spirit pill in his hand and said, "Clan leader Lan, I will be back. Let's go." The envoy from the right shouted. Lei Jio turned around and looked at Lanya. His eyes were firm as he said to Lanya, "Little sister, I will definitely fulfill the oath I made. You must wait for me. I will definitely come back and marry you." Finished. Lei Jio turned and walked out in large strides. However, what he said just now made the two emissaries laugh coldly. Tianyin City, East Gate. Tang Lai and a few Tang clan disciples were waiting. Tang Lai looked at Tianyin City and said faintly, "Tianyin City is only a so-so. There's nothing special about him." One of the disciples echoed, "There are only a little bit more people in Tianyin City. Big brother, we will capture him after we return from God Rare sect." Exactly. A small Tianyin City is nothing. Our Tang clan will take down all 10 cities. Brother Lai, 8-level talent, you're a super genius. Once you reach God Rare sect, don't let those Elder of Inner House S snatch you away. When that happens, the Tang clan will soar into the sky. Even the God Rare sect S and 10 sects would rarely see the 8-level talent, right? That's not it. Tang Lai's face revealed a pleased smile. 8-level talent, a group of super geniuses. Even the two emissaries treated him with utmost respect. From this, it could be seen how powerful his talent was. Waiting until God Rare sect was bound to cause a sensation. At that time, money, status, what does it matter what a woman wants? What does it matter to a mere Mu Bing? Tang Lai laughed coldly in his heart. "Mu Bing, not becoming my woman will be the thing you'll regret the most in your life." Haha. At this moment, 2 emissaries walked up to him. The 3 disciples of the Tang clan stepped forward to welcome him. Tang Lai did not move. He was an 8-level talent, so he didn't need to cater to the envoy at all. Instead, it was the envoy who fawned on him. But at this moment, Tang Lai discovered a few familiar figures. His eyes were staring straight at Long Fei, and at the same time, Long Fei was also staring at him. "Tang Lai?" Lu Qin whispered. Mu Bing was also slightly shocked. The left envoy said slightly, "Let's get to know each other and take care of each other on the way here. These are all disciples of the Tang family, and here are the disciples of the Lan clan. You guys should get to know each other. Right envoy. Left envoy shouted. The right envoy nodded and said, You guys wait here. We'll go summon the spirit-channeling flying bird. God Rare Sect was quite far away from here. If he were to use his feet to walk, he probably wouldn't be able to reach here even in 100 years. There was only one way to go to such a large sect, the psychic flying bird. After the two emissaries left, Tang Lai immediately walked forward and smiled. Junior Sister Mu Bing, we meet again. Chapter 1750, Flying Crane. Chapter 1750, Flying Crane, the 8-level talent, is awesome. My 10 rating. Of course. Seeing Tang Lai's stupefied expression, everyone beside Long Fei started laughing. It was very obvious that they were trying to scare him by saying that Long Fei was a 10 rating gift. However, they didn't know that Long Fei's inherent skill had actually reached the 10 rating. Although the inherent skill grade didn't seem to be of much use to Long Fei, it was still pretty good for him to act tough. After all, this was the 10 rating gift. If the 8-level talent was a super genius, then his 10 rating would suppress an existence of a super genius. But no one knew anything about Long Fei's 10 rating gift. Ha ha ha! Ha! Look at his stupefied expression. It's really funny. Lei Jiu laughed. Lan Feng also laughed and said, You must be scared half to death, huh? Tang Lai knew that he had been played, and his expression turned sinister as he laughed coldly. You think only you can reach the 10 rating gift? If you're a 10 rating gift, I'll eat shit. A Tang Clan disciple also shouted, You're clearly a piece of trash, and you even have 10 rating gift. Just you guys also want to scare a young master. What morals do you guys have? How many people with 10 rating gift in the entire Devil Island? Exactly. Lu Qin took a step forward and said, Tang Lai, take care of the dogs beside you. If you dare to spew shit all over your mouth, be careful of me making it so that they won't be able to speak for the rest of their lives. Very cruel. It was no joke. The expressions of the 3 Tang Clan disciples turned cold as they did not dare to continue speaking. Lu Qin's cultivation was much higher than theirs. Tang Lai sneered, Junior Sister Lu, why not follow me? With just the potential of my 8-level talent, passing God Rare Sect examination is a piece of cake, and you too can even be Elder of Innerhouse's disciples. With me taking care of him, I believe that you 2 sisters will do well in God Rare Sect. How is it? Being with me is much stronger than him. Long Fei said, I will dig a corner of my wall with my face in between, sure enough, but can you move it? Just as he finished, Lu Qin also walked back to Long Fei's side, one hand holding on a Long Fei's other arm, while his head lightly leaned on Long Fei's shoulder. With a face full of charm, an obedient, blissful woman, she looked like a completely different person. In my heart, there is only Master Lin. Puff! Tang Lai spat out another mouthful of blood in his heart. Staring at Long Fei, he almost wanted to eat Long Fei whole. Cluck, cluck! Tang Lai gritted his teeth and said, Long Fei, just you wait. Watch how I crush you in God Rare Sect, stepping on you under my feet. Long Fei did not take it seriously at all. Naturally, he did not place Tang Lai in his eyes either. At this moment, Long Fei and the others did not know that the one who killed the old granny was Tang Lai. They did not know that Tang Lai had killed all the female disciples of the goddess sect. Tang Lai is already dead. Tang Lai was the same. He did not know that Long Fei and the rest had returned to the goddess sect and destroyed it, or else he would have exposed himself. In another place, the left and right envoys were using the spirit communication technique to summon the flying demon beast. At the same time, the 2 of them were also discussing something. Senior brother, that sword's aura is very strong. Even now, I still haven't been able to tell its rank. I estimate that even if it doesn't reach the divine level, it's not far from the divine level. With this sword, our strength will increase by quite a few levels. Now, we should find a place. The left envoy slightly nodded and said, Then let's go to Evil Ghost Ridge. It just so happens that we're going to take a break there. When the time comes, inform the evil spirits sect. Haha. The right envoy immediately laughed. All right, let that kid live a few more days, ha ha ha. While they were talking, as their strength surged, a massive formation appeared on the ground. With a flash of light on the formation, a powerful cry resounded through the skies. The light disappeared. A huge iron-hand eagle appeared on the array, bigger than a Boeing plane. It was fully armored, and its pair of eagle eyes were extremely sharp, making people feel intimidated at first glance. Long Fei and the others were also shocked. Looking at the iron-hand eagle in the distance, their expressions trembled. What a ferocious flying beast! They were all extremely shocked. Lu Qin stared at the iron-hand eagle and said, "This is an iron-hand eagle, a type of flying beast that only exists in the God Rare sect. It's the lowest kind, able to travel tens of millions of kilometers per day. It's extremely fast. There are many of these bird God Rare sects, and the most powerful one are the flying crane. They can fly tens of millions of kilometers in an instant, but I heard that only the sect leader of God Rare sect can use this kind of bird." Mu Bing said, "Flying crane?" Long Fei remembered this in his heart, and said in his heart, "This old granny once said that a flying goddess came out of the God Rare sect. Could it be because of the flying crane, or is Mother riding on a flying crane and leaving the Devil Island? Tens of millions of kilometers in a single thought. This speed, even the vast continent could be traversed over. Perhaps this is really it." Long Fei secretly tensed up. At this time, Left Envoy walked back and said, "Follow me." Tang Lai walked in the front. The three disciples of the Tang clan followed closely behind him. Long Fei still looked up at Iron Hand Eagle, his heart shaking. "This is just like a super fighter jet." Lei Jiu revealed an envious expression. "If only I had an Iron Hand Eagle like that too. Go wherever you want. If you want to return to Tianyin City, you can meet the Tianyin City." Even after he left, he was still worried about Lanya. Lu Qin slightly said, "God Rare sect is indeed one of the 10 sects. This kind of flying beast called the Iron Hand Eagle is almost at the heaven stage, but it's still the lowest level of flying beast. Too powerful." The shock that the Iron Hand Eagle had towards their hearts was simply too strong. A few minutes later, everyone were standing on the Iron Hand Eagle's back. The envoy on the right lightly reminded them, "Sit well, all of you." The idea moved. "Take off." The Iron Hand Eagle spread its 100-meter-long wings, and after flapping a few times, it suddenly flew up and in an instant rushed towards Yun Shao. Shwa! Walala! The wind was ear-piercing and incomparably fast. Li Ruhua was so scared that he did not dare open his eyes. A Tang clan disciple screamed out in fear. It was really scary. However, a few seconds later, the cloud layers slowly calmed down. The few seconds just now, as everyone thought about it, most of their faces were incomparably pale. It was as if he had experienced a life-and-death battle. Long Fei's face was calm, without any changes. This kind of impact, this feeling of being on the edge of life and death, to him was nothing because he was already used to it. Left Envoy glanced at Long Fei, his heart feeling slightly shocked. "This is my first time sitting on an Iron Hand Eagle, and I'm not afraid." Chapter 1751, Air Interception. Chapter 1751, Air Interception. Even they were scared half to death the first time. Long Fei's expression did not change, nor did his heart beat. If they knew what Long Fei had experienced, they might even understand. "Brother Fei, are you not afraid at all?" Lei Jiu's forehead was drenched in cold sweat. Lu Qin and Mu Bing also looked at Long Fei. The two of them had clenched their fists and tightly grabbed onto the Iron Hand Eagle's feathers, afraid that they would fall down. Long Fei faintly smiled, but did not reply. Tang Lai laughed coldly. "Tisich, it's not that he isn't afraid, he's just scared to death. He doesn't even have time to react. I think he's so afraid that he almost wet his pants." "What are you still pretending for?" Tang Lai's complexion quickly recovered. He was also shocked a moment ago, but compared to the others, he felt a little better. This was because the left envoy had already sent a sound transmission to him from the very beginning, telling him to get ready. This was the special care of the 8-level talent. This made Tang Lai even more pleased with himself. "Tang Lai, what's with your tone?" Mu Bing shouted. Tang Lai disdainfully said, "Junior Sister Mu, He was clearly scared to death, yet he still pretends to not be afraid. This kind of person who pretends to be noble, and noble is definitely not good stuff, you better be careful while following by his side. Mu Bing took Long Fei's arm again and said, I'm willing. I'm willing. Who are you? Can you control it? Humph. Tang Lai stared blankly. He was so angry that he wanted to rush over. However, this was from the back of the Iron Hand Eagle. If he accidentally fell down, his 8th-level talent would become a gift of the dead. Long Fei didn't pay any attention to Tang Lai. Left Envoy slightly shouted out, Stop quarreling, quiet down. If anyone doesn't want to go to God Rare's sect, you can say so right now. I'll kick him down. He didn't want anything to happen to Long Fei. Long Fei had an incomparably powerful devil sword on him. Tang Lai coldly snorted, stared at Long Fei, and said, Brat, just you wait. Long Fei ignored him from the start. A full day later, suddenly, the cry of an eagle sounded. Li Ruhua immediately pointed. Look, there's another Iron Hand Eagle over there. As soon as he finished, everyone was startled, especially left and right envoys. The two of them immediately tightened their eyes and said, Everyone be careful. One stood on the head of the Iron Hand Eagle, and the other on the tail. He had to say it. The two emissaries' cultivations were very strong. They stood in uneven spots, and the backs of the Iron Hand Eagle that were flying extremely fast actually did not waver at all. It really was the 8 winds that didn't move. Under this kind of speed, it was impossible to achieve without a certain level of cultivation. At this moment, Shua! The Iron Hand Eagle in the distance suddenly changed its course of flight and disappeared into the clouds. Huff! Left Envoy exhaled slightly and muttered, Seems like they are also afraid of our attacks. Before he could finish his words, Long Fei raised his eyes slightly. Head. Walala! The strong wind raged like a tsunami. That Iron Hand Eagle suddenly pressed down with a powerful pressure. The Iron Hand Eagle that Long Fei was sitting on let out a few cries, its level clearly going to whisper to the Iron Hand Eagle above. Long Fei immediately said, We got it. Left Envoy moved, the Iron Hand Eagle moved to the side and slowed down, dodging the attack. The envoy from the right shouted with a thunderous voice, Who is it? TSK Tisk, of the God Rare sect, obediently hand over your disciples. If you do that, we will spare your pathetic life. That Iron Hand Eagle also slowed down and still landed on top of Long Fei and the others' heads. It was also at this time, Left Envoy saw the standard of an Iron Hand Eagle, and his eyes darkened. Xiao Yao Palace. Ha! If you know that we are from the Xiao Yao Palace, then quickly hand over your disciples, and don't let me make a move. Otherwise, all of you will die. Xiao Yao Palace, one of the 10 sections. He was ranked 4th in terms of overall strength, above the God Rare sect. The disciples of the Xiao Yao Palace were cruel by nature. They would go around killing and robbing others, and would commit all sorts of crimes to prevent other sects from recruiting disciples. Left Envoy's eyebrows tightened, and said in a low voice, This is troublesome. She then turned to look at Long Fei and the others. Right Emissary immediately said, Senior brother, we. Left Envoy looked at Long Fei, then looked at Tang Lai, his fists slightly clenched as he said in a deep voice, Xiao Yao Palace's senior brother, please give me face. There are 1,000 divine spirit pills here. Please accept. The 8th-level talent was rich. He did not want to miss it. He did not want to miss the devil's sword in Long Fei's body. Wow. You asked for 1,000 divine spirit pills as soon as you open your mouth. It seems that you have recruited quite a few disciples this time, huh? The people from the Xiao Yao Palace all started laughing excitedly. If that's the case, I won't let you off. Hurry up and hand over everyone. There's a limit to my patience. Long Fei stared at Left Envoy and asked softly, How many people are on their Iron Hand Eagle? Left Envoy rolled his eyes at Long Fei, but did not answer. Lu Qin said, Under normal circumstances, there would only be 2 people, but there are also special situations. Long Fei said in a low voice, They will definitely hand us over. I will go over first, and after I go over, you guys will not come over, understand? Master, Brother Fei. Everyone's face tightened. Long Fei shouted and said, "This is an order." If two of them were a hurricane burst boxing that could be killed in an instant, if three of them, Long Fei's heart tensed up. Forget it. Let's take a gamble. Moreover, honestly speaking, the powerhouse that Long Fei had entered into before had never exploded in his life in the 10 sections. These two were definitely experienced. It must be great. If that was the case, then he couldn't afford to miss it. The envoy from the right said, "Senior brother, our Iron Hand Eagle are not a match for them." It was exactly as Long Fei had expected. They wouldn't risk their lives just for Long Fei and the others. This was because life was always the most important thing. Left envoy shouted in a deep voice, "All right, we will hand over the disciples." Ha ha, ha ha. The people of Xiaoyao Palace let out arrogant laughter. God, rare sex dogs are really obedient. Hurry up and do it now. Buzz. A heaven stairway was thrown down from the sky. Long Fei was the first to stand up. At this moment, Left envoy immediately shouted, "You are the last one." Long Fei asked why. The Left envoy said slightly, "Don't mind it so much. I told you to be the last one." Where did all this nonsense come from? He did not want to give up on Long Fei. He wanted to escape the moment Xiaoyao Palace's guard was down. He did not want to let go of either the 8-level talent or the Devil's Sword. Moreover, he was very clear in his heart that the people of the Xiaoyao Palace would definitely not let them off. Even if he had to hand over all the disciples, they would not let him off. Anyway, other than Tang Lai, Li Ruhua, and the others, the rest of them were just cannon fodder. They did not care about life and death. Chapter 1752. Who's Courting Death? Chapter 1752. Who's Courting Death? However, Long Fei didn't care that much as he said coldly, "I don't care what plan you have, but since you've recruited us over, then you have the duty to protect us, and you've done nothing at all, cowering like dogs." "How dare you? Kid, who do you think you are? What qualifications do you have to teach us a lesson?" The envoy from the right shouted. Long Fei sneered, "I'm not that old, but I'm not scared." Finished. With one step, he climbed up the heaven stairway and climbed up the back of the Xiaoyao Palace's Iron Hand Eagle. "Brat, stop right now." Left and right envoy's face was clearly a little anxious. Long Fei had that devil's sword on him, after all. If he fell into Xiaoyao Palace's hands, the devil's sword would naturally leave them behind and wouldn't be let off. Immediately, the right emissary took a step forward and pulled Long Fei and shouted, "Brat, I'll let you be the last one to go up. Didn't you hear me?" One of the envoys from the Xiaoyao Palace shouted, "Let him go. Get him to come over here. If you dare to stop him again, be careful of my rudeness." The right envoy immediately became terrified. He didn't dare to say much. He could only watch as Long Fei climbed up. At this time, he felt extremely unhappy in his heart, as the devil's sword was already far away from him. Tang Lai watched Long Fei's back as he slowly climbed up and said disdainfully, "Truly a brainless person to actually send himself to his death." When Lei Jiu heard it, he immediately scolded, "Tang Lai, you King, say one more time." Tang Lai immediately asked, "Who do you think you are? Shout in front of me?" "I already said it. He's just a brainless, useless trash. So what about it? Bite me." Lei Jiu's eyes spewed out flames of anger. At this moment, Lu Qin suddenly stood up and said, "Lord of Xiaoyao Palace, he is the 8-level talent, the one with the highest talent amongst us." Left and right envoys' eyes darkened as they stared at Lu Qin. Tang Lai was dumbstruck. He had never thought that Lu Qin would suddenly use such a method. His face was pale white. He immediately looked at the two emissaries and shouted, I'm not an 8th-stage innate ranker. I'm just a trash with a 3rd-stage inherent skill. He was so scared that his entire body began to tremble. He was very clear about how the Xiaoyao Palace did things. It was extremely cruel. If he fell into their hands, he definitely wouldn't be able to live. The envoy of the Xiaoyao Palace sneered, "We don't even need to look to know that I know that you are trash." He didn't spare Tang Lai another glance. As if he had received an amnesty, Tang Lai revealed a cold smile. He stared at Lu Qin and said, "Bitch, you King wait." Lu Qin never thought that the people from the Xiaoyao Palace would actually look down on Tang Lai. Lu Qin also did not give Tang Lai another glance, but upon seeing that Long Fei was about to climb up, he became a little worried. Left and right envoys was also looking at Long Fei. Both of them were still unwilling, but they could not do anything about it. Huff! Damn thing. If you had followed us, you would have been able to live a few more days. But now, you are asking for death. Left envoy said fiercely in his heart. Long Fei climbed onto the Xiaoyao Palace's iron hand eagle and thought to himself, "We must not have too many people. We must not have." The moment he climbed up, his eyes went blank for a moment. There was a huge cage on the back of the iron hand eagle, and the cage was filled with young disciples. There were also a few elders who looked like they were the envoys of a sect. They were imprisoned like slaves, and they saw that Long Fei's eyes were a little numb. Some voices sounded. Another one. Yet another person has come to die. These people were all disciples who went to the 10 sects to take the examination, and were all captured by the Xiaoyao Palace. There were more than 20 of them. Long Fei's heart trembled as he looked at the other places on the iron hand eagle's back. His hurricane burst boxing could only kill 2 people in a second. Now that there were 4 of them, in that case, Long Fei secretly tensed up. At this moment, "Lame duck, what are you looking at?" One of the emissaries walked up and gave him a kick. Kicking towards Long Fei's chest. Long Fei's gaze tensed up. "Brush, that's it. Virtual mirror." Wong. Asterisk Long Fei's body suddenly disappeared. The emissary was caught off guard. He did not have time to react, and with one kick, his body became unstable as he leaned forward. At this moment, Long Fei suddenly appeared behind him. His right fist moved. Berserk Beast Divine Fist. Boom! The strength of a mighty elephant burst forth. The envoy was immediately knocked off his iron hand eagle by Long Fei, and he let out a miserable scream. It was also at this time. Lu Qin and Mu Bing stood up at the same time. "The sect master has made his move. Let's go." "Wait," left envoy shouted. "No one is allowed to go up." The right envoy immediately said, "Seize this opportunity." The idea moved. The iron hand eagle suddenly accelerated and directly threw the heaven's stairway into the air. He ran away. "Senior envoy, Big Brother Long Fei is still up there. We cannot leave him alone." Li Ruhua stood up. "Sit down," left envoy shouted, and ordered the iron hand eagle. "Speed up, speed up, speed up, speed up, speed up." He was very clear about the Xiaoyao Palace's way of doing things and would definitely not let them off. If he did not leave now, when would he leave? As for Long Fei, he could only give up. Who told him to court death? Lu Qin and Mu Bing struggled, but they could not do anything. Tang Lai started laughing loudly. He was grinning from ear to ear and said, "I already said he's a retard, huh? Mu Bing, Lu Qin, I will take good care of you two in the future, haha." Scram. "Why don't you go and die?" Mu Bing and Lu Qin shouted at the same time. Left envoy looked at the Xiaoyao Palace's iron hand eagle that could no longer be seen and said softly, "Brat, this is your life." Left and right envoys escaping was a good thing for Long Fei. At least, Lu Qin and the others would not be hurt. The 3 emissaries immediately landed in front of Long Fei and shouted, "Little bastard, you're courting death." Before he finished his sentence, he had already disappeared. Long Fei could not react at all. The difference in speed was too fast, and the level difference was too big. "Brat, be careful behind you." An elderly voice came from inside the iron cage. Long Fei frowned and immediately shouted, "Holy Spirit Angel, Holy Spirit Defense." Buzz! 99% of his attack immunity was released on his body. Long Fei was not afraid. He turned around to face the attack. Boom! Long Fei retreated. A 3-digit number floating above his head was damaged. He was secretly shocked in his heart. Damn, what a terrifying power! Since the envoys of the 10 sects were this powerful, then the words of the other powerhouse. At this time, Long Fei did not think much of it. His fists moved, and he said, "Holy Spirit killing." Holy Spirit Angel's power moved, and a beam of light penetrated through. Shwa! The other two envoys also rushed over in an instant. Their speed was extremely fast, however. Long Fei was already prepared. I have long been prepared for you all. Hurricane burst boxing. Let's see who seeks death. Chapter 1753, Genius Girl. Chapter 1753, Genius Girl. One punch turned into a twin dragon. Boom, boom. He directly sent the two envoys of the Xiao Yao Palace down the Iron Hand Eagle. And at the same time, the Holy Spirit Angel's Holy Spirit Kill was also blasted out. Similarly, he blasted the Iron Hand Eagle down, but different from Long Fei, Holy Spirit Angel did not instantly kill him. A voice came out from midair. Kid, I'll remember you. Go to hell. Two notifications sounded in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for defeating Xiao Yao Palace Disciple for obtaining 188,888 experience points. God Power, 18,888 points. Abnormal Energy, 1 point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 10 Divine Spirit Pills. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. Several small items dropped, but it wasn't much. Long Fei stood on the Iron Hand Eagle's back and disdainfully said, My death. Your father is still alive and well. At this moment, all of the captured disciples in the iron cage stood up. Their faces were full of gratitude. Among them, there was no lack of beautiful women looking at them with admiration and adoration. In their eyes, Long Fei was a hero. Long Fei said, Don't worry, I'll let you guys out right now. But just then, the Iron Hand Eagle suddenly let out an angry hiss. It suddenly started to shake. An old man immediately said, The Iron Hand Eagle's spirit communication technique has been dispelled, and it has returned to its original form. Everyone be careful. Hurry, hurry, hurry and let us out. Hurry, hurry and let us out. Kid, what are you doing? To make you hurry up, I'm a disciple of the Heavenly Spirit sect. I'll be the first to leave. Move out of the way. The Iron Hand Eagle was like a wild horse that had escaped from its restraints. It became irritable and restless. It shook crazily in the air, spinning crazily, wanting to throw Long Fei and the iron cage down. This was something that Long Fei did not expect. Once the person who signed the spirit communication technique with the Iron Hand Eagle died, the demon beast would recover itself and its wildness. For a proud demon beast like the Iron Hand Eagle, it would never lower itself to anyone. Holy SH**T. The plane is about to crash. Long Fei cursed silently. Seeing the struggling people in the iron cage, he did not go up to open the iron gate, but instead tried to think of a way. The iron gate was fixed on the back of the Iron Hand Eagle. Of course, Long Fei did not care about their lives. He just did not want to waste that time. Kid, what are you doing? Do you want to fucking die? Hurry up and open the cage, you dog. What are you arguing about? We are relatively safe in the iron cage. Can't you see that the Iron Hand Eagle did not throw us out? Suddenly, a woman's voice shook with some violence. Her aura immediately suppressed all the auras surrounding her. Everyone was silent as they looked at her. The two elders were slightly shocked. This aura is very special. Could it be? The number 1 disciple specially recruited by the Xianyang sect, and one of the top 10 geniuses that appeared in the Devil Island in the recent few years, Nielin. As soon as he finished, everyone was shocked. Others might not know, but there was no one among the younger generation that did not know of the name Nielin. She was ranked 3rd in the 10 disciples, and also the only female in the 10 disciples. She had the highest talent in the legends, and the existence of the 10 rating gift. He was accepted by the Xianyang sect very early on. However, he never thought that she would be stopped, and luckily no one knew of her identity. Otherwise, the envoys of the Xiao Yao Palace would have already returned to the Xiao Yao Palace. She looked at Long Fei and asked, Can you control Iron Hand Eagle? Long Fei shook his head and said, I can't control it. Even though his spirit communication technique was of the divine rank, it was impossible to instantly control the Berserk Iron Hand Eagle. How could he possibly control the Iron Hand Eagle? That's right, he isn't a spirit master. A few sounds of contempt came from the surroundings. The spirit communication technique wasn't something that just anyone could cultivate. It required a strong talent for the spirit communication technique. Lin immediately said, "Then if you help me, I'll control him." Everyone was taken aback. The two emissaries were also stunned as they looked at her. They only knew that Lin was an exceptionally gifted genius, but they never thought that she was even a spirit master. Long Fei didn't think too much about it. This was a distance of tens of thousands of meters in the air. If he were to fall down, he would definitely be smashed to smithereens. Moreover, Long Fei had already released all the skills that he needed, but now he did not have any that could protect his life. Long Fei immediately asked, "You're helping me like this?" Lin said, "Let me out first." Long Fei looked at her and said, "All right." Long Fei walked to the front of the cage, took out his demon sword, and slashed, clang. The moment the demon sword appeared, it immediately attracted countless gazes. His sword, so powerful, it's completely crimson red and surging with energy. Furthermore, it carried an intense, killing intent. It should be a devil's sword. She was different from the others. She could not handle the 4 envoys from the Xiao Yao Palace. But Long Fei beating them all down showed that Long Fei was not a simple person. To be able to reach such a level with a cultivation of 7 stars. In her heart, Long Fei was very strong. Then, Lin was the first one to fly out. In an instant, her feet lightly touched the ground, and like a dragonfly touching the water surface, a ray of light formed beneath her feet. Her body moved, and in the midst of the strong air current, she instantly landed on top of the Iron Hand Eagle's head. A crisp bell sound rang out in the air. Then, Lin's aura instantly shrank and entered the Iron Hand Eagle's sea of consciousness. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds. The ferocious gaze of the Iron Hand Eagle changed to a gentle expression, and it instantly calmed down. In 3 seconds, he subdued the Iron Hand Eagle. The level of this spirit communication technique, this talent, it was simply a strong display of power. Long Fei was dumbstruck. His heart was shocked. What a powerful spirit communication technique. In 3 seconds, he was able to subdue the rebellious Iron Hand Eagle. It had to be known that these traitorous Iron Hand Eagle were much harder to tame than normal eagles. However, she only used 3 seconds. As expected of the 3rd place on the 10 disciples ranking, he's really strong. The old man said enviously, "Xianyang's sect strength will increase by another level this year. If the 3rd place is already so strong, then to what extent will the 1st and 2nd place be? With this spirit communication technique, she is definitely the new king of the year. This is secondary. Did you not discover her beauty? Oh, peerless beauty, I have never seen such a beautiful one. Beautiful and powerful. If anyone can marry her, that would be a good life." Lin's expression did not change at all. She was tired of hearing praises. She walked to Long Fei's side and said, "Thank you for saving us." Long Fei laughed indifferently. "You saved me too. My name is Lin." Long Fei also said, "Long Fei." Chapter 1754. Who's the Slag? Chapter 1754. Who's the Slag? Half an hour later, on an empty hillside, the Iron Hand Eagle had landed. The captured disciples all dispersed. They all came to thank Lin, but no one remembered him. Long Fei didn't mind. Lin asked, "Where are you going?" Long Fei replied, "God Rare Sect." Lin was startled and said, "God Rare Sect?" In recent years, the decline in strength of the God Rare sect had been so great that they were almost pushed out of the ranks of the 10 sects. If they were to lose this year's newbie battle, they would really be pushed down. Lin said with good intentions, "Why don't you follow me to the Xianyang sect? With your cultivation talent, I believe that the Xianyang sect will accept you." She was very optimistic about Long Fei. Moreover, what she said was not an ordinary acceptance, but an inner sect disciple. Long Fei said, "Thank you, but I still have to go to the God Rare sect. After all, I am a disciple that they have recruited. If I go to another sect, it will cause unnecessary trouble. God Rare's sect had to enter. Even if it was a trash sect, Long Fei would still enter. He had to find a way to leave the Devil Island and find information about his mother. Seeing the resolution in Long Fei's eyes, Niao Lin did not try to force it and said, "Then I will not force it. If you do not pass God Rare's sect's test, then come to Xin Yang's sect to find me." Then, Niao Lin felt that he had said the wrong thing and laughed. "I'm kidding with your talent. How could you not pass the assessment? Long Fei, we shall meet at the exchange meeting of the new disciples of 10 sections." Niao Lin said seriously. She believed that Long Fei would definitely appear at the tournament. It would become her rival. Even, she would become her most powerful opponent. The punch was split in half. Adding on the strange woman that Long Fei had summoned, the layers of cultivation technique was something that he had never seen before. Long Fei cupped his fists and said, "We will meet again if fate wills it." Niao Lin leapt onto the Iron Hand Eagle with one step and flew away with a few other disciples of the Xianyang sect. So powerful! Is the 10 disciples this strong? Long Fei was secretly shocked. Ever since he had entered the ancient holy battlefield, he did not feel that they were very strong, but after meeting Niao Lin, he realized that those people he had met before were trash. The real powerhouses were all inside the 10 sections. She was only ranked 3rd. How strong was the 10 disciples? It looks like 10 sects is pretty fun. Long Fei smiled slightly. At this moment, the 2 elders who were about to leave with their disciples stopped in their tracks. Long Fei had also noticed it long ago. They were also God Rare sect's envoys. That elder walked forward and said, "Little brother, I just heard you say that you were going to the God Rare sect." Long Fei nodded his head, and the elder laughed. "Then come with us and be our companion. It's just that we don't have any Iron Hand Eagle S, so we can only rely on our feet to walk. However, we should be able to make it in time for the assessment." Long Fei said, "Thank you, elder." "Ha ha, we still have to thank you. If not for you sending the people of Xiao Yao Palace flying, I'm afraid that we would have already reached the Xiao Yao Palace. The consequences would be hard to imagine." He smiled slightly. "Yeah, we should thank you." Long Fei joined them and headed straight towards God Rare's sect. Along the way, the messenger told Long Fei everything about the God Rare sect. "Elder, did Flying Goddess really fly out of Devil Island? No one knows the specifics of this matter. In any case, but of course, she left behind a lot of assets." All of these things made the God Rare sect only be able to become one of the 10 sects in a short few years, and after 1,000 years, all of the things that the Flying Goddess had left behind had been used up, and our God Rare sect gradually weakened. "Sigh, if we do not reap the rewards from this year's rookie exchange, our God Rare sect might really be squeezed out of 10 sections." The old man let out a soft sigh. The God Rare sect had always relied too heavily on the things left behind by the Flying Goddess. To the God Rare sect, he really needed a person who could carry a cauldron. Otherwise, it would only be a matter of time before they squeeze out of 10 sections. Long Fei did not care about what the old man said after he finished his sentence. He kept thinking in his heart, if it flew up, it would disappear. Flying Goddess should be mother. She was the first to leave the Devil Island. How did you do it? Does it rely on the time laws that she comprehended? Long Fei's mind was filled with questions. He really wanted to know everything, but he had to walk through it step by step to find out. He couldn't help it. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly, looked at the sky, and thought, "Mother, I will definitely find you." "Right. Elder, doesn't God Rare's sect have flying crane? It could travel 1,000 miles with just a single thought. With such a godly crane, why would it not fly out of Devil Island? What about entering the ancient holy battlefield to earn merits and then reviving the God Rare sect?" Long Fei asked. The elder laughed bitterly. "Flying crane? It has not appeared for hundreds of years, so even sect master himself would not know whether it actually exists or not. Also, even if there's a flying crane, we can't leave the Devil Island, because the people of our Devil Island are all people that have been cursed by gods and this continent is also a continent that has been cursed by gods. Long Fei's heart sank. Phew. From the looks of it, there was a huge barrier at the edge of Devil Island's limit. This should be... It was established by a sovereign, right? Can't we just break through the barrier and get out? The elder's eyes were filled with desolation as he muttered to himself, "Ancient holy battlefield. A fighter's dream." Entering the ancient holy battlefield was every warrior's dream. They all wanted to throw their heads away, shed blood, and go all out. However, all of this was an unattainable, extravagant hope for the people of Devil Island. Too far away. 10 days later, at the foot of the God Rare sect, Li Ruhua and the others had arrived a long time ago. Today was the assessment day. I need to find a sect leader. The moment Mu Bing jumped off the Iron Hand Eagle, he immediately walked back. Lu Qin was the same. Long Fei was the last worry in their hearts, and right now, they had no way of knowing whether he was dead or alive. Even if they did not have to take the examination to directly become an inner disciple of the God Rare sect, they were not interested in him. The left envoy immediately stopped them, coldly snorted and said, "I don't care what is going on in your heads, but I want to tell you that Brat is already dead. If you go, you will also die. Whether you die or not has nothing to do with me, but don't affect us." Each left envoy sent out an order badge. "Take it. These are your identity tokens. If anyone dares to run away without permission, don't blame me for being rude." "Humph." Tang Lai walked over and said complacently, "Junior Sister Mu Bing, don't worry. I will take good care of you in the future." At this moment, who is the trash? Is my woman in need of your care? Chapter 1755. We're arrogant. How can that be? Chapter 1755. We're arrogant. How can that be? Master, Brother Fei, Big Brother Long Fei. Long Fei, you're still alive? In an instant, Lu Qin and Mu Bing immediately ran over. They were so excited that they were about to cry. Lei Jiu, Li Ruhua also walked over. Tang Lai was startled and revealed an extremely unhappy expression. Left envoy and envoy of the right looked at each other and revealed a hint of a smile at the same time. They never thought that Long Fei actually survived Xiao Yao Palace's Iron Hand Eagle. And then, the two of them also walked over. Long Fei, how did you survive? Left envoy then gave Long Fei an identity badge and said, "No matter how you survived, you will be tested immediately. This is your identity badge." Long Fei took the order badge and said, "Understood." At this moment, the envoy that came with Long Fei to the God Rare sect walked up, looked at Long Fei and smiled, then said, "Little friend Long, with your strength, there's no need for an assessment. Do you want me to recommend it to the elders?" Left and right envoy's face was shocked as he said respectfully, "Elder Xia." Xia Chuyuan waved his hands, not caring about the two emissaries on his left and right, but looking at Long Fei as if he was waiting for his answer. Long Fei waved his hand and said, "I think it's best if I take the examination myself and use my strength to prove everything." "Ha! Well said. Prove everything by relying on strength." Xia Chuyuan nodded and said, "I think very highly of you. Kid, don't disappoint me, and remember what I told you. If you have anything else, you can come and find me directly. I don't dare to say anything else, but I still have some weight in my words." While he was speaking, he looked at left and right envoys. He had seen Long Fei's devil sword before, and had especially reminded him not to use it so easily. Long Fei said, "Thank you, Elder." Left and right envoys' expression changed slightly. They stared at Long Fei and wondered in their hearts, what exactly is the relationship between this kid and Xia Chuyuan? The one who was even more shocked was Tang Lai. He was completely stupefied. "You actually want to recommend him? What is he? This brat must have given that old geezer quite a bit of benefits. That must be it. Otherwise, with just his rank 3 talent, how could he possibly get the favor of the elders? He would definitely bribe them." "Despicable and sinister villains," Tang Lai said in disdain after Xia Chuyuan left. Long Fei slightly raised his eyes, walked in front of Tang Lai, and said, "Surname Tang, I really don't want to bother with you, But if you keep provoking me, I will slap you to death, understand? Killing intent filled his eyes. Just because he ignored Tang Lai did not mean that Long Fei was afraid of him. Tang Lai was staring at him with thick killing intent, but he was actually unable to move, as if he was being stared at by the god of death. Half a minute later, young master. Tang Lai's body shook as he reacted. Looking at Long Fei, they had already walked to the examination grounds. He clenched his fists tightly and said, Long Fei, I won't let you off. Hand over your identity token. Name. Long Fei. All right, you can go in now. Long Fei took back his identity badge. 2 words appeared on the surface of the badge, which was his name. In front of him was a door to space and time, which should be a small plane. Long Fei could not help but ask, Clan Elder, may I ask how will the assessment be carried out? Are there any rules? That elder didn't even raise his eyes as he said, cut the crap. Once we enter, we will know. Trash with a 3rd-grade talent is just acting as cannon fodder. Long Fei's eyes darkened. And then, Lei Jiu was in a bad mood, but he was stopped by Long Fei. Finally, the few of them entered the space and time gate together. Buzz! The spatial gate twisted, as though layers of ripples were spreading out. In that instant, the strong light was so blinding that he couldn't even open his eyes for a moment. Where is this place? This is the examination grounds? How does the examination work? Lei Jiu and Lan Feng started to mutter. At this moment, a few disciples dressed in God Rare sect clothes walked over, carrying disdain in their mouths, and said, right in front of us is Xian Peak, and there are bandits everywhere. If you want to go, I can lead the way. 100 divine spirit pills per person. Lu Qin immediately asked, Are you God Rare sect's disciples? That's right. Can't you see what we're wearing? We are all official disciples. A disciple arrogantly said. Lu Qin asked, Then is there no one to care about you all like this? Who cares? Who cares? A disciple shouted. Lu Qin said, You are all robbing me. What's a robbery? Are we robbers? This is called a fair fee. Should we pay it or not? If you don't hand it over, you won't be able to pass through the Xian Peak in front and will be beaten back to your original form. Wherever you come from, there will be no return, and our God Rare sect won't send you off. Ha ha ha. Muggles, don't waste your time. You guys are simply unable to pass the exam with your current strength. Long Fei looked at the mountain peak in front of him and said, Is that the Xian Peak? That's right, it's over there. A disciple said. Long Fei said, As long as you pass Xian Peak, I will pass the first round of examination, right? Yes. Kid, without us leading the way, you won't be able to make it. The disciple sneered, not waiting for him to finish. Long Fei then walked out, and Lu Qin and Mu Bing immediately followed him. None of them paid any attention to the 4 of them. The 4 of them stared blankly. A disciple said, Was it because I didn't explain it clearly enough? Still, they didn't understand. Immediately, that disciple rushed to Long Fei's side and said, Brat, I just said that I can guide you through each person's 100 divine pellets. Thank you. No need. Long Fei waved his hand. We will barge through by ourselves. The disciple was stunned. He stared at Long Fei's face for a few seconds, and then burst out laughing. With just you? A trash with a 7-star cultivation? Try another piece of trash? Lu Qin glared at him furiously. Trash, trash, trash. I said it 3 times, so what? The disciple yelled in annoyance. Pa, 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 pa. 3 slaps instantly landed on his face. There was almost no gap. He didn't even see how he had attacked. Long Fei's eyes darkened and said, Let's talk about it again. Try one more time. F***CK. The other 3 disciples immediately ran up and pushed Lei Jiu away and stared at him. Brat, you're very arrogant. Lei Jiu and the others were not afraid of living here. They immediately surrounded them. The 6 of them immediately surrounded the 4 of them. Lei Jiu shouted and said, We are arrogant. What are you going to do about it? Sure, all of you have guts. Just you wait. If you can pass today's exam, I will take your surname. Oof. A disciple shouted in anger. Wait. Chapter 1756, Desperate Man, NPC. Chapter 1756, Desperate Man, NPC. Robbery? Long Fei had never played this game before. Hard. Come on, I've never been afraid. The four disciples quickly retreated, rushing towards the direction of the Xian Peak. Mu Bing said, Sect Master, could they be in cahoots with the bandits of Xian Peak? Why are they also going to the Xian Peak? Long Fei laughed and said, Since the ancient times, there has always been a nest of robbers. Since the ancient times, they have always been on the same side as us. We are here for the assessment, not to bribe. If we want to enter the God-Rare sect, we must use our own strength and not rely on these bystanders to get through. Long Fei said sternly. Everyone was startled. Long Fei looked at the steep mountain peaks in the distance and muttered, Bandits? I was really afraid that there weren't any bandits, so I took the opportunity to level up. He was just worrying about not finding a chance to level up. And then, Long Fei brought them to the Xian Peak. Oh, fuck, hit lousy. I will definitely let you die here today. These trash offend lousy. Watch me deal with you like this. The disciple who was beaten up was very angry. At this moment, from high up in the Xian Peak, a burly man walked out. When he saw the four of them, he immediately said, For sirs, why have you come? Isn't today's assessment just beginning? This should be the time for you to make a huge profit. One of the disciples immediately said, Don't say any more. Hurry and call your chief desperate man out. The tall and sturdy man was slightly surprised. He was stunned for a moment. Then the disciple with a pig head that was beaten into a pig by Long Fei instantly went berserk, went up to the disciple and kicked him. Didn't you hear what I said? You dog, you don't want to live anymore. Immediately call out desperate man. Bam! With a fierce kick, the burly man was sent flying. Not daring to get angry, the burly man slapped the ground and said, I'll go right now. He didn't dare to say anything. He didn't dare to get angry. The surrounding disciples of the Xian Peak village were all the same. How preposterous! Against lousy, the disciple said angrily. A disciple asked softly, Senior brother, is it not good for us to do this? Furthermore, if the things that we do are discovered, I am worried that... Without waiting for him to finish, he slapped him again. The senior brother shouted, Are you King crazy? Is this the first time you've done this? With outer door great presbyter here, who do we have to be afraid of? Discover. Who will find out? The beaten disciple immediately lowered his head and said, Yes, yes. Not long later, a man dressed in white with the appearance of a scholar walked out. His body seemed to be moving, his legs were not occupying the ground, and even the wind was blowing. Powerful character. My lords, what orders do you have? The scholar asked. That senior brother immediately said, Kill someone for me. No, kill 6 people. Finished. The senior brother looked into Desperate Man's eyes and said solemnly, This is the order of the great clan elder. Desperate Man's gaze tensed up, and he immediately said, Understood. At the foot of the Xian Peak, there was a narrow path between the two mountains. Standing at the intersection, Long Fei looked up into the sky, saw a trace of sky, and said faintly, This should be the Xian Peak. From this moment onwards, be on full alert. This place was very dangerous. If there were ambushes on both sides of the valley, it would be very dangerous. And everyone nodded. Long Fei took a step forward as his aura was slowly released. The valley was abnormally quiet. Other than the sound of the wind, there were no other sounds. After Long Fei and the rest walked for about half an hour, Lei Jiu muttered and said, Maybe they're just scaring us, Brother Fei. It's very safe, there's nothing wrong. Don't let your guard down. Long Fei had not finished speaking. Suddenly, a white shadow flew past. Walala! His clothes fluttered in the wind and then disappeared in an instant like a female ghost. Cold sweat appeared on Lan Feng's forehead. He heavily swallowed his saliva and said, Did you see that just now? What was that white shadow? Is it a ghost? Long Fei looked up at his surroundings, shouted, Don't worry about it. Just give it your all to break through. Lu Qi, Mu Bing, you two open up a path. Lan Feng, Lei Jiu, you two block the rear. Ru Hua, You're in the middle. Charge out in one breath. Speed. Everyone, remember, act according to my plan. Remember. Long Fei warned repeatedly. Since it was a mountain bandit, then he could not be let off. He would treat it as getting rid of the evil for the people. Long Fei felt a dangerous aura. Mu Bing and Lu Qin also reacted quickly. They rushed out with all their strength. Li Ruhua, the one with the weakest cultivation, stood in the middle. Long Fei stayed behind. A small team charged out madly just like that. You want to escape? No way. Rumble, rumble. An intense sound echoed from the ancient peak. Long Fei's heart tightened. Not good. There's a falling stone. Sovereign, be careful. Boom. A gigantic boulder separated Long Fei from them, and an explosive sound rang out in front of them. In that instant, Li Ruhua and the others who were in front of them were also blocked by the gigantic rolling boulder. Shwa, shwa, shwa. One figure after another fell to the ground. One after another, the sound of their backs' footsteps could be heard. Ha ha ha. You want to escape? Let's see where you guys can run to. Don't even think about leaving. Ha! A group of bandits roared, surrounding Long Fei and the others until not even a drop of water could trickle through. Right at this moment, a white figure landed and silently landed in front of Long Fei. Both of his eyes looked at Long Fei with a shocked expression, and Long Fei was the same. What's going on? It's not gold, but there's light on your body. It's a boss. Is it even a quest NPC? Or something else? This made Long Fei extremely suspicious, because this was the first time Long Fei saw the desperate man in front of him flashing with a light other than that of a boss's halo. What the hell? Long Fei secretly felt that it was strange. He had thought that there was a boss in this bandit's lair, but now it seemed that it wasn't a boss, but a mutated NPC? It was too strange. The expression in Desperate Man's eyes was also somewhat surprised. In his mind, he felt as if he had seen those eyes of Long Fei somewhere else. Even if he had never seen it before, he had seen the exact same look in her eyes. However, this was something in his mind, and he could not recall it at all. Desperate Man coldly said, "Just surrender," not waiting for them to make a move. Long Fei raised both his hands and said, "I surrender." In another place, Lu Qin and the others did not resist either, and shouted directly, "We surrender." This was Long Fei's plan. Chapter 1757, Formidable Bodyguards. Chapter 1757, Formidable Bodyguards. They're all a bunch of cowards. Leader, should we kill him now? Or do you want me to bring it back to the village? The desperate man did not have any time to think, and directly said, "Bring them back to the mountain stronghold. Remember, without my order, no one is allowed to take action. Understand?" "Yes, sir." The corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up slightly, and he thought to himself, "That's more like it. Bring him back to your place. That way I could easily kill him." Just these bandits blocking the road were not enough for Long Fei to eat. However, the aura of the desperate man was very strong. Long Fei's mind was filled with thoughts on how to deal with the desperate man. Other than the blasting fist, he could not think of any other method. And in Desperate Man's heart, he had always been thinking, just where did he see that kind of gaze before? Why did it appear in my mind? Why am I here? Why? Desperate Man frowned. Thinking about it caused his head to feel a bit of pain, as if some kind of confined force had locked his mind, causing him to be unable to break out of some memories. It was very uncomfortable. He was a person who liked to earn a lot of money. Whenever there was something that he couldn't understand, he would always think about it. The more he thought about it, the more his head hurt. The bag looked like it was about to split open. From the moment he could remember, he had been working for the outer door great presbyter in this small plane. But why was he here? He only knew that he was brought here by the outer door great presbyter. He only knew that his name was Desperate Man. The rest of the memories were unknown. When he saw the look in Long Fei's eyes that he had seen before, the memories in his heart suddenly opened. His mind was in a mess. Half an hour later, the bandit brought Long Fei and the others to the mountain stronghold. "Ha ha, ha ha, brat, continue being arrogant. Didn't you say you were pretty unreasonable an hour ago? Now you dare be arrogant again. I've said it before. I will definitely kill you today. It is now in your father's hands. The senior brother that was beaten up by Long Fei walked to Long Fei's side. A cold smile hung on his face as he stared at Long Fei. Come, let this daddy see how arrogant he is. While they were talking, he slapped Long Fei's face. He wanted revenge. He wanted to return it back to Long Fei 10 times over. However, before his palm could land on the ground, he felt a sharp pain on his face, and his body suddenly flew to another place. It fell to the ground like a dead dog, blood trickling from the corner of its mouth. Long Fei was stunned. Lu Qin and the others were also stunned, because the one who acted was not Long Fei. The one who attacked was the desperate man. Even he himself was stunned. That slap just now was extremely forceful. He didn't even know what had happened. Why would he attack the great elder's subordinate? Was he crazy? However, in his mind, there was a type of idea that was controlling him. The moment that senior brother struck down, that idea gave out a command, and his body couldn't help but be controlled. Yi Zichen slapped him back. Very heavy, very fierce. You, desperate man, do you want to King Rebel? A disciple said fiercely. The other two disciples quickly helped the senior brother up. You dog, Lousy sees that you're tired of living, even daring to hit Lousy. Someone come. Kill them all, including Desperate Man. The bandits slightly moved. The Desperate Man was their head. However, the senior brother said, if you don't kill him, all of you will die. Do you know what the great clan elder did? And then, the bandits trembled slightly, their eyes filled with fear. They were well aware of the first elder's methods and did not dare to offend him. Leader, I'm sorry. We have no other choice. Brothers, let's attack together. If he doesn't die, then we must die. Attack. Suddenly, the tall and sturdy man roared, and all of the bandits rushed forward, towards Long Fei, Lu Qin, and the rest, towards Desperate Man and the rest. The four disciples sneered in disdain. Those who oppose us will all die. At this moment, Long Fei shouted, do it! Chua! Chua! Lu Qin and Mu Bing took the initiative to attack first. Two people, with two swords, had directly pierced through the two bandits' chests and sent their bodies flying. At the same time, Long Fei also moved his fists, Raging Beast Divine Fist. Boom, boom. Two fierce tigers charged out and killed the two bandits. Ding, ding. Congratulations, player Long Fei, for killing Bandits of the Bandits. You have received 1,000 EXP, 100 holy power value, and 1 abnormal value. Good experience. Continue. Kill them all. Long Fei shouted, staring at the four disciples with a sneer. He said, we still don't know who lives and who dies. Boom. With a punch, one of the bandits was killed. Long Fei looked at Desperate Man. Just now he suddenly attacked to help him, but now he was only dodging. He did not retaliate, and he had been looking at Long Fei. His gaze never left her. Why? What the hell is going on with him? Why are you helping me? Long Fei also had many doubts in his heart, but the most important thing right now was experience. Just a single word, kill. Over 100 bandits rushed over in a frenzy. They advanced forward. Even if they were afraid, they would still bite the bullet and advance forward. If they wanted to compete with Long Fei, the one they were more afraid of was the great clan elder. The four disciples also shouted, kill them all. Kill them all. If you can't kill them all, you will all die. Kill. Ha. Kid, let's see how long you can hold out for. The four of them crossed their arms as if they were watching a show. Suddenly, Long Fei suddenly moved and landed in front of them. The faces of the four tightened. Long Fei thought, let's try again. The 38th punch. Guxiang Fist. Boom. His fist punched out and a huge ancient elephant stomped out, creating a powerful impact and knocking the senior brother down onto the ground. At the same time, the two disciples attacked at the same time. His speed was extremely fast. Furthermore, they were all greeting Long Fei with their killing moves. Long Fei did not dodge. He wanted to test it again. Shua! The white silhouette flipped and a fierce wind blew. A sword blocked the attack, and in that instant, a white light flashed. Clang, clang. Two. Poochie. Poochie. The two disciples' chests were cut open. The health point above his head quickly bottomed out. One sword kill. The desperate man also had a face full of doubt. He had no idea why he had charged into that strike just now. Just to protect Long Fei? Long Fei was also extremely shocked in his heart, looking at the distance between the desperate man's. Damn, this speed is too ferocious. This sword art, sharp. Moreover, I can't see his depth at all. Long Fei became excited. Could this be another awesome bodyguard? Chapter 1758, Strong Second Generation. Chapter 1758, Strong Second Generation. What happened to that person? Why did he save the sect leader twice? That's right. How strange. Don't say too much. Let's kill these bandits first. No matter how strange it was. However, things still had to be done. It was just like Long Fei, who did not dare to test again because Desperate Man's first move was absolute killing. He had lost all his experience. Wait until we kill them all. Immediately, Long Fei's speed increased, and the raging beast god punch continued to explode outwards. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 8 stars. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for raising his bodyguard Xiao Yan to level 34. Fuck you, mother. I leveled up again. Could it be that if I leveled up, my bodyguard would level up? Bite! Long Fei grinned excitedly. Xiao Yan had leveled up and his strength had increased by another level. He would wait until he reached the peak and directly become a Do-D. Not long after, the entire mountain stronghold was filled with corpses. No one could move. Only Long Fei's group of 6 and the Desperate Man remained. Desperate Man continued to look at Long Fei. The expression in his eyes was complicated. He was filled with doubts. He felt a little lost. Long Fei asked, "Do you have anything else you want to say?" Desperate Man saw Long Fei's mouth move, and in the end he still asked, "Who am I?" Are you asking the wrong questions? You should be asking us who our sect master is, right? Everyone laughed. Desperate Man's face was serious as he asked again, "Who am I?" Long Fei could tell that he was serious. He shook his head and said, "I don't know who you are, no matter how I feel about you." Lei Jiu immediately said, "Brother Fei, you like men?" Lu Qin immediately spouted, "You're the one who likes men?" Mu Bing played with the corner of her clothes and muttered, "Sect Master has never allowed us to sleep. Could he really be? Sect Master, do you really like men?" Long Fei's forehead had 8 black lines. Isn't this too dirty? I don't know what else they're thinking. Desperate Man also tightened his chrysanthemum and said, "I don't have this kind of hobby." Long Fei said, "The feeling I'm talking about is different. I feel a little familiar, but I do not know you. This is very strange. I can't possibly say that I have the system, and the light I see on my body isn't ordinary, right?" Long Fei could only say that it felt very special. Desperate Man immediately replied when he heard, "Me too. Your eyes seem to have seen it somewhere before. Moreover, I don't know why, but there's a powerful subconscious in my mind. Once you encounter danger, it will erupt and control me, letting me block everything for you. Even if I die, I will block it. I can't control myself. This isn't my idea at all. Just what is this? And who am I? Why would they protect you? Why should I be here?" A bunch of questions. Desperate Man really didn't know. He really wanted to know everything. Long Fei was stunned, especially because his eyes made Desperate Man feel that he was familiar with him. At this moment, his heart suddenly sank, and he couldn't help but think of a person. Mother. The old granny of the goddess sect had also once said that her eyes were very familiar, just like her mother's. Thus, Long Fei seriously looked at Desperate Man as he thought of this, and thought in his heart, "Is this the bodyguard Mother arranged for me?" At this moment, Long Fei's heart felt warm. It was as if a warm current had passed by, and an indescribable warmth filled his heart. This was the first time Long Fei felt the power of maternal love. An indescribable warmth. Regardless if Desperate Man was his mother's bodyguard, there was one thing that Long Fei was sure of. Desperate Man was definitely related to his mother. The same thing happened with the system. Huff! Long Fei exhaled, raised his head to look at the sky, and muttered, "Mother, where are you? Go back the way your mother went." It was as if everything had been arranged. Only the system could trigger the goddess scroll. Furthermore, she had been waiting for him here for so many years. Even she herself did not know who her own desperate man was, so all of this was not a coincidence, but a kind of arrangement. Moreover, Long Fei seemed to have made some sort of arrangement. Was this the great prophecy? Or was this fate? Long Fei did not believe in fate. There was only one possibility for him to overturn fate, and that was that his mother knew the great prophecy technique of the Long family. Suddenly, Long Fei laughed softly in his heart and thought to himself, "I suddenly feel like I'm the strongest second generation. My father entered hell, and I estimate that before long, he will be the king of hell. Mother is even more powerful. I have comprehended the time laws, but I don't know just how strong I am now." Others were rich second generations. He was from the second generation. Moreover, he felt that his parents were getting stronger and stronger. This feeling was pretty good. The desperate man was still waiting for an answer. If there was anyone in this world who could give him an answer, he believed that it would only be Long Fei. Long Fei withdrew his train of thoughts, looked at Desperate Man, and said, "From now on, follow me." Desperate Man was stunned. Long Fei continued, "I will give you all the answers you want. I'm also looking for an answer." Lei Jio said in a low voice, "Brother Fei, that's not good. After all, he is the great clan elder's man." Long Fei shook his head. "Don't worry. I believe him." Long Fei said, "You can follow me or leave at any time, but I can guarantee you that I will find the answer for you, and that I will be the only person in this world who can give you the answer." Desperate Man thought for a moment, then said, "Okay, I will follow you." This was his mission. Under certain circumstances, he would go and die for Long Fei. This was his life. She was one of the many bodyguards that Long Fei had arranged for. However, Long Fei's mother, Mu Wan'er, was far more powerful than he had imagined. He couldn't imagine how powerful it was. And then, the group of people headed towards the exit. So powerful. The 8-level talent is too powerful. The first stage of the examination only took half an hour. I have to say, his talent is astonishing. He should be this year's God Rare Sec's new king. This year's 10 Sex Exchange S will definitely have one of his spots. Junior brother Tang Lai, I love you. Tang Lai was the first one to pass the examination. Moreover, he didn't get it by bribing, but by relying on his own abilities. The 8-level talent was not fake. Tang Lai was elated. A smile hung on his face as he thought of Long Fei. He sneered in his heart, "Long Fei, in this era, it's just relying on background and talent. You're not my match at all, huh? Just you wait. I will crush you with absolute power." Chapter 1759, Competing Talent. Chapter 1759, Competing Talent. The first trial wasn't that difficult. Most people can pass. However, but there are no such people as Long Fei. What? All dead? How outrageous! Who will be so daring? Halfway up the God Rare sect, in an outer sect, in a huge courtyard, an old man was furious. His eyes were staring at a disciple in the hall like they were bells. The disciple trembled a little. He was well aware of the great elder's ruthless methods and immediately said, "It's the assessment disciple led by Long Fei. Take the disciple test. Just a few disciples from the assessment can destroy my Xian peak." Impossible. There must be someone backing them up. Great Elder did not believe that just with a few examination disciples, they would be able to destroy his Xian peak and his 4 official disciples. If it was that strong, what was the point in taking the exam? He directly became an official disciple. That disciple said in a trembling voice, "Great Elder, I am not aware of this, but this is a disciple that I brought back from the Tianyan city. That Long Fei has a 3rd-rank talent, and a woman has not only reached the 6th-rank talent, but she does not have such a martial arts training. Immediately find the envoys that recruited them and investigate in detail." The great elder shouted. A mere grade 3 martial talent trash dares to challenge me? I'm tired of living. The Grand Elder snorted coldly. The disciple quickly left. In the hall, an elder stood up and asked, "Brother Ma, do you need my help?" Great Elder Ma Fomley immediately said, "It's just a small matter. There's no need for you to take action. The thing I just told you." The elder smiled slightly and said, "Brother Ma, don't worry. I will definitely prepare some things for you. However, the number of divine spirit pills might increase. 1 million at the moment." Ma Fomley frowned. The elder immediately said, "This is also the Lord's intention." Ma Fomley smiled lightly and said, "Go back and report to him. I will prepare the divine spirit pill." "Ha ha, that's good." The old man immediately smiled. He then wrapped his arms around her and left. Ma Fomley's eyes turned sinister, and he said fiercely, "Old fox, are you trying to raise the price? Just you wait. Wait till I get the wind lay geo-level technique. I'll make you look good." "Humph." Ma Fomley flung his sleeves. He was furious. 1 million divine spirit pills was not a small sum. Even if he was an outer door great presbyter, it would be difficult for him to take out. It took him 10 years to find out. He was just a little bit away from gathering it all, but something had happened to the ECN peak, causing his assessment to be not getting anything. Otherwise, it would be enough. Long Fei, right? Little bastard, let's see who's behind you. Against me, I will let you know of my Ma Fomley's methods. Ma Fomley clenched his fists tightly, his joints popping out and his body releasing a light yellow chi that resembled battle chi, becoming extremely fierce. It was a huge martial arts practice field. This year's rookies were gathered together. An elder walked up and said lightly, "This is the second stage of the examination place. Also, this is the examination for alchemy, artifact forging, inscriptions, spiritualization, and beast taming. Although these jobs are not as impressive and powerful as the martial arts training, but these jobs are much more noble than the martial arts training. They can more determine your identity. In this year's newcomer competition and 10 sexes newcomer exchange, all of them will be participating. Don't worry about these jobs. They are more important than anything else. If any of you wish to take the test, you can register now." The second round assessment was divided into batches. Split the examinee into 2. There was still one more stage to the martial arts training, and it was much more difficult than the supporting job exams. Li Ruhua looked at Long Fei and said, "Big brother Long Fei, I want to go." Her martial arts training inherent skill was very clear to her. In the last stage of the martial arts competition, she would definitely not be able to make it. Long Fei nodded, "All right." At this moment, Long Fei took out the God Rare Sec badge that Li Ruchao gave him and said, "This is what your brother left for you. Keep it safe." Li Ruhua looked at the order badge. It was given to her by an adult when she was young. She did not expect that her brother was no longer there. Li Ruhua clenched his fists tightly and nodded. I will work hard. Work together for my brother." And then, Li Ruhua walked out. Many disciples walked out. Long Fei did not move. Lu Qin, Mu Bing, and Lei Jiu did not move. The alchemy inherent skill is low. Don't be discouraged. You still have a chance to refine a weapon or inscribe a formation. Low talent in equipment forging. No talent in inscriptions. All kinds of sound were constantly heard from afar. No matter if it was artifact forging, alchemy, or spirit communication technique, they all required talent. If one did not have talent, then no matter how hard you worked, it would be useless. An exception would be someone as perverted as Long Fei. At this moment, Tang Lai looked at Long Fei and said, "Long Fei, just a martial arts training is so boring. Any warrior would have a supporting job. Don't you have it?" Mu Bing stared at Tang Lai and said, "Tang Lai, why are you like a fly? So annoying? If you want to test your supporting position, then go. What are you saying in front of my sect master?" Tang Lai laughed lightly. "Junior Sister Mu Bing, I was just casually asking. Why are you so angry?" "All right, I understand. Your sect master doesn't know anything." Lu Qin bellowed. "Young Master Tang Lai, you talk coldly here. Tang Lai looked at Long Fei and said, Long Fei, what's wrong with hiding behind a woman? You don't even dare to fart? Aren't you 10 rating gift? Go check it out. Long Fei raised his eyes slightly and said, Do you really want to test it? Mu Bing immediately pulled Long Fei back and said, Sect Master, let's not bother with him. Lu Qin also replied, That's right. Long Fei continued to ask, What do you want to test? Tang Lai said, The spirit communication technique. When he was at the Tang family, he had already tested that his alchemy was very high and that he also reached the 8th-level talent. It was extremely sharp. It was as if he was stepping on Long Fei to emphasize himself. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, All right, since I learned the spirit communication technique on the way here, I will test my talent. At the same time, the Sleeping Beauty said, Master, I need 3 minutes to modify it. Long Fei said, No need. Whatever talent is useless to me. Can you let me tame a demon beast in an instant? What I need is this kind of power. The Sleeping Beauty was stunned and said, You want to do that? Sure, but I can only use this power once. Sure, the Sleeping Beauty muttered in her heart, but I still have to help you raise all of your supporting positions to the 10 rating gift, hee. Out of the way. Out of the way. Get out of the way. Our young master wants to test his talent in the spirit communication technique. Get out of my way. Chapter 1760, Acting Cool. Chapter 1760, Acting Cool, a secondary job or talent. Alchemy must have a sense of the spirit grass. To refine a weapon, one must know how to remove inscriptions. Psychic's technique, how to control the demon beast's thinking and make a contract with it. Regardless of which supporting profession it was, one would be considered one of the tens of thousands. It was an existence with incomparable difficulty. It was just as the elders had said, these supporting positions were much more noble than martial artists. A martial artist talent was low and they were weak. You could still slowly practice with the help of the Hotian realm slaves. Although you couldn't reach a very high boundary, you could at least practice with them. However, these supporting positions were different. If you didn't have talent for supporting positions, you would never be able to step into this realm. This was the disparity between them. Get out of the way, didn't you hear? A few Tang clan disciples were menacing and aggressive. Tang Lai was the first ranker of the first round. The 8th-level talent was revealed. It was extremely mighty and extraordinary. One man gained the right to ascend to heaven as a chicken, and a dog gained the right to ascend to heaven. His lackeys were also extremely arrogant. Mu Bing and Lu Qin followed behind Long Fei and said, Sect Master, you don't need to compete with him. Exactly. Tang Lai is simply not qualified to compete with you. Master, you are the best in our hearts. The two girls talked nonstop. Long Fei smiled slightly. Are you all that unconfident in me? The two girls were stunned. Indeed, this was because they had heard that Tang Lai had an extremely high inherent skill and was extremely powerful. Long Fei was not his match. At this moment, Tang Lai smiled slightly as he looked at Long Fei and said, Are you going to go first, or should I go first? Long Fei replied, It doesn't matter. He did not care about talent at all. He had the system, talent, and so on were all trash. He did not need them at all. From the very beginning, he could not cultivate with the pubes' broken veins and veins. But wasn't he still from a low plane of existence in ancient holy battlefield? Inherent skill might be useful to others, but for Long Fei, useless. Tang Lai laughed. Since you're so confident, then you go first. However, he sneered in his heart. Kid, watch me humiliate you like this. Long Fei took a step forward. Put your hands on this beast's head and use your idea to sense its thoughts. Long Fei placed his hand on it, and the idea moved slightly. Half a second later, the black stone at the side revealed a little bit of a weak light, not a single piece. The result was out. The elders said, Your spiritual talent is low. You're not qualified. Ha! 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 Tang Lai laughed out loud, pointed at Long Fei's nose and said, Everyone come take a look. This is our 10-rating gift disciple. He's the only one that's returning the 10-rating gift. The 10-rating gift is all-powerful. With this kind of talent, you're still not as strong as me? Then wouldn't I be 100 pints? Exactly. I still have 1,000 tails. Tang Lai stared at Long Fei and said, Long Fei, open your eyes wide and look clearly. Let's see what kind of talent I have. As soon as he finished, Tang Lai pressed his hand down. Half a second later, the glow on the black stone rose higher and higher until it landed on the 8th section. The few elders were completely dumbstruck as they stared at Tang Lai with their mouths agape, as if they could put in an egg. 8 sections of light. 8-level talent. Too powerful. Genius, super genius. The distant left and right envoys was grinning from ear to ear. With the 8-level talent and the 8th grade spirit communication talent, how high will the reward points for this sect be? The crowd was filled with amazement and envy. Tang Lai looked at Long Fei and said, Brat, you want to compete with me? You don't even have the qualifications. Do you understand? It's easy to step on someone like you. Long Fei slightly said, Oh, is that so? And then, Long Fei looked at the demon beast behind an elder and said, Elder, I'll lend you the demon beast. Without waiting for the elder's permission, Long Fei had already walked up. This was a mount. Long Fei walked in front of him, and everyone was looking at him. What does he want to do? Is there something wrong with this person? What do you want? Suddenly, Long Fei moved, his hands quickly forming a seal. With him at the center, a dense amount of runes shone out. They quickly formed a formation, a spirit channeling array. How could this be? How is that possible? Who is he? How could it be such a high-level spirit communication technique? Even no one in our spirit channeling hall has the ability to use the spirit channeling technique. Just who is this kid? The spirit communication technique was divided into many different types. The spirit communication technique that Long Fei cultivated was the reward of the system. It was the divine level spirit communication technique. Its success rate was multiple times higher than that of ordinary spirit communication technique, and of course, its mastery was also many times harder. Buzz. The fluorescent light vibrated as it fiercely landed on the ground. It immediately enveloped the demon beast rider. In that instant, the Sleeping Beauty's power moved slightly. Buzz. The mount trembled and suddenly stood up, letting out an angry roar. It was no longer docile like before. It had become manic and valiant, and the aura it emitted was even more unbridled. Roar. He let out a furious roar, and in that instant, the mount walked in front of Long Fei step by step, aggressively and aggressively. Sovereign, be careful. Brother Fei. That demon beast was 4 meters tall and had an overbearing Lion King. Its mouth was wide open and could swallow Long Fei in an instant. Just as everyone was worrying, the Lion King walked to Long Fei's side obediently like a little kitten, licking Long Fei's leg with a cute face. Spirit Beast Communication. It's a success. Oh my God, it's only been a few seconds. This is impossible. The surroundings were completely silent. Everyone was dumbfounded, as if seeing a glowing treasure. The few spirit channeling elders drooled as they trotted up. My lord, how did you do it? His status as an elder directly called Long Fei Master. It was the first time. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, That's exactly what I did. As he spoke, he gestured with his hands a few times. Then he walked to Tang Lai's side and said, Is the 8-level talent powerful? Awesome? Very arrogant? Still so arrogant. Her gaze was still as she stared at Tang Lai. Tang Lai's gaze tensed up. One of the lackeys beside him bellowed, Long Fei, who do you think you are? You were just lucky just now. Long Fei shot a glance at him. Who do you think you are? While they were talking, the Lion King suddenly roared at that disciple. He opened his blood bowl and released an extremely savage aura. The Tang Clan disciple was so scared that he peed his pants. His face was extremely pale. Long Fei stared at Tang Lai again. Do you still want to compete? The genius of the 8-level talent? Easy to step on me. Are you qualified? Lu Qin laughed. Senior brother Tang Lai. Didn't you want to step on our sect master? Who stepped on who now? 8-level talent? Ha ha ha. Grade 8 trash talent. is more or less the same. At this moment, the Sleeping Beauty said, reporting to Master, all talents have been fully improved. If that's the case, then why don't you act cool? Chapter 1761, Immortal Gift Pack, 8 Immortals. Chapter 1761, Immortal Gift Pack, 8 Immortals. Tang Lai's face turned ugly. He thought that his 8-level talent was enough to trample Long Fei, but Long Fei had subdued the head Lion King in an instant. This kind of ability was definitely above his, and even the Spirit Master Elder had revealed such a shocked expression. It was obvious that it was not that he found it easy to crush Long Fei, but that he found it easy to crush her. However, Tang Lai was unwilling. Tang Lai said solemnly, "So what if we have subdued a demon beast? Your talent is still low, Long Fei. Low-level talent, do you understand?" "Humph, I am a genius of the 8-level talent. Do you have the qualifications to compete with me?" Many people said, "Exactly. Talent determines everything. Just now was just a coincidence. Luck is not your strength." Many people joined in the clamor. The corner of Long Fei's mouth raised slightly and laughed. "You want to know my talent, right? Open your dog's eyes wide and see clearly." While they were talking, Long Fei pressed one hand on the beast's head, causing the idea to move. Immediately, the black stone at the side continued to glow and rush upwards. Buzz! The 7th section. Buzz! The 8th section. The 9th section. Oh my God, it's still rising. Everyone's eyes were fixated on the light on the black stone. In the blink of an eye, it had risen up once again. Whoa! It stopped at the 10th section. Long Fei retracted his hand slightly. If he did not retract it, he was worried that the Sleeping Beauty's transformation would be able to break through the seal of the black stone. He walked in front of the pale Tang Lai and asked, "Can this inherent skill do?" Tang Lai's face became extremely ugly. Not waiting for him to speak, Long Fei walked to the side of the alchemy assessment inherent skill and made another move. Buzz! 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 The black stone's light exploded and shot up into the sky. Boom! When he stopped at the 10th floor, Long Fei withdrew his hand yet again. He could clearly sense that his innate talent was not only limited to the 10 rating. Is that enough? Long Fei turned around to look at Tang Lai, gave a cold laugh, and said, "It's not enough." He once again walked to the side of the refining talent test. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Yet another series of explosions could be heard, and 10 rating gift appeared again. Long Fei turned around and shouted again, "Is that enough? It's not enough, is it? Then continue." The array was carved with 10 rating gift S. Beast Master 10 rating gift. All the supporting positions, a total of 8. They were all 10 rating gift. Awesome to the point of being overbearing. It was as if the sky was exploding. The entire martial arts practice grounds was in an uproar. The entire outer sect of God Rare sect was in an uproar. Who is this person? Are you crazy? 10 rating, all of them, this. No one fight with me. He is my man. He is a man of my refining branch. Whoever dares to fight with me, I will fight with him. Li Chu, why are you shouting so much? Alchemy is the way of the king. He's a member of our alchemy hall. Damn, his first test is the spirit communication technique. He's from our spirit connection hall. The 8 elders of the supporting occupation pavilion were all red with embarrassment from the lack of money, and they were on the verge of a fight. At this time, Tang Lai felt like he had been slapped in the face. That feeling was too unbearable. He was a joke. He was just a skinned shrimp in front of Long Fei. Meanwhile, Long Fei was dumbstruck, because just as he reached the 10th level for the 8th supporting job, a system notification rang out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a special reward of all 8 elements. Damn! Octopus! It can even activate the reward? Long Fei was secretly excited. The items rewarded by the system were definitely not ordinary. At this moment, a gift box landed on his system interface, and Long Fei clicked on it. Ding! Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining the Immortals gift pack. Huh, great deity gift pack. It seems very awesome. What is it? Long Fei clicked to have a look, and 8 people suddenly popped out of nowhere. These 8 people were people Long Fei did not recognize, but he had seen on television. 8 immortals. 8 immortals crossing the sea. Iron Crutch Li, Lu Dongbin, Han Xiangzi, Lan Caihe, Immortal Lady He, Uncle Chao Guizhou, Elder Zhonghua, Han Zhongli. 8 immortals. Each of them brought their own magical equipment. They all possessed extraordinary battle prowess after attaining the immortal realm. Awesome. Long Fei was extremely excited. The 8 immortals have crossed the sea. They are all here. The 8 immortals all smiled. At the same time, they said, "Boss." Huh. Ha ha. Long Fei was grinning from ear to ear and said, I do not dare. Then he thought of something. Damn, what's there to be afraid of? Since the system has given it to me, I'll be their boss. The 8 Immortals Crossing the Sea was Long Fei's favorite television show after he was an hour old, so he was familiar with each and every one of them. To actually see a real person today, what kind of honor was that? The key point was, these 8 Immortals were awesome. Long Fei looked at their battle mode. Invisible? Special space. Only Long Fei could see that the battle styles of the 8 Immortals were all in a special space. Moreover, outsiders wouldn't even be able to detect them. If they could, then they wouldn't be immortals. Long Fei thought, the abnormal system is the abnormal system. To directly give away a big gift pack for immortals, would there be a big gift pack for anime in the future? A sci-fi gift pack? Haha, I like the feeling of a big gift pack. Master. Mu Bing and Lu Qin gently shook Long Fei. Long Fei recovered and was stunned. Seeing that Tang Lai was already gone, he could not help but ask, where is that Tang Lai? If I had left with my tail between my legs, I probably wouldn't have dared to appear in front of you again, Mu Bing said while grinning. Lu Qin said, Sect Master, you should try to persuade them. They're already fighting. It was like a woman swearing. It was so noisy that it couldn't be opened. All of them lifted their sleeves, looking like they were about to fight. How could he not have the demeanor of an elder? What's the difference between him and a country bumpkin? Damn, what's going on? Long Fei did not expect such a situation to occur. We are all civilized people. Why do we need to use violence? No one listened to him. Long Fei said once again, everyone listen to me. Still no one listened to him. Long Fei waved his hand and said, whatever you want, this daddy here can't be bothered to care. It's best if I beat a few to death. And then, Long Fei was about to leave. Xia Chuan walked over and said, Brother Long, you are the savior of our God Rare sect. Look at how much they are fighting for you. This is the second time in history. Long Fei asked. Why is it the second time? Who was it the first time? Xia Chuan said, Flying Goddess, speaking of it, it's strange, she's the same as you. Mother? Long Fei's heart trembled. Is he really the owner of the system? Chapter 1762, Fantastic Boss. Chapter 1762, Fantastic Boss. All the signs were that his mother was not simple. Goddess Scroll, the desperate man's special memory control. Furthermore, with the current 8 elements almighty, if it wasn't the owner of the system, it would be hard for Long Fei to imagine how it could be this strong. Then his mother. He was so strong. Xia Chuan looked at the dazed Long Fei and laughed. You have suddenly caused a sensation in the God Rare sect, and I'm afraid even the inner sect has caused a sensation. Kid, you're going to get angry. Long Fei scratched his head and said, Elder Xia, don't laugh at me. I don't want to cultivate anything else. After all, a supporting position was a supporting position, and Long Fei's main focus was not in this area. Xia Chuan said, the secondary cultivation can also be used and will not hinder you at all. Furthermore, it will also provide you with more cultivation resources. And Xia Chuan stared at Long Fei curiously and said, your information indicates that your martial arts training inherent skill is of the 3rd rank. I don't really believe that. Your 8 supporting positions are all 10 rating gift, so your martial arts training inherent skill is definitely not low. Brat, tell me, what is your martial arts training inherent skill? Long Fei smiled slightly and said, what do you think? Xiao Yuan looked at Long Fei's smile and said, good kid. Long Fei did not say anything, but Xiao Yuan had a feeling that Long Fei's talent was not low and was possibly 10 rating. This way, the God Rare Sect's new disciple exchange this year. He finally had something to play with. Xiao Yuan became excited. The ruckus in the crowd grew louder and louder, completely affecting the examination today. If this continued, the exam will be delayed. Xiao Yuan muttered, what's happening? And then, Xiao Yuan's voice sank. The sound wave was like a wave, instantly spreading outwards. All of you stop. Buzz. Boom. The sound waves that could be seen with the naked eye rippled out one after another. Moreover, the sound waves were controlled very easily and perfectly. It just happened to avoid the disciples taking the exam. This control was extremely strong. Long Fei couldn't help but be shocked. As the voice fell, the voices on the stage also quieted down. Some people angrily turned around, and upon seeing Xiao Yuan, they immediately lowered their heads. Xiao Yuan was a very special existence in the outer sect, and not many people dared to offend him. Some said he was a reformer. All kinds of rights. Some people also said that he was the sect master's trusted aide. There were all kinds of discussions, but one thing that was confirmed was his strength, especially his sound wave technique. It was hard to find a second person in the entire God Rare sect. How was that acceptable? For a disciple, is there a need? Xiao Yuan said fiercely. You are elders of the God Rare sect, but you're like a shrew, like a 3-year-old child. How do you want the disciples to view you? Xiao Yuan walked over Long Fei's side and said, all of you keep arguing. Do you know what Long Fei is thinking? You only know how to compete. What's the use of competing? Xiao Yuan said unhappily. At this time, an elder asked, Brother Long Fei, if you join our alchemy hall, I dare to assure you that from today onwards, you will use the pellets of the alchemy hall for free. It's the same for refining branch. So, is the inscription hall, beast control hall, the spirit channeling hall, each of the halls throughout olive branches. Using pills for free, what kind of concept was that? This was the first time in the history of the God Rare sect that this had happened. Long Fei's heart trembled slightly. He really needed the support of the medicinal pellets. After all, his blue medicine wasn't consumed without limits. He needed the medicinal pellets to back it up. Similarly, he also wanted weapons of unlimited use. Beast Master Psychic Long Fei scratched his head and said, about that, you guys are making things difficult for me. How about this? I join your A-halls. As soon as he finished. This. They were all stunned. Not only them, even the surrounding disciples were also stunned. Not a single disciple had entered the 8 halls at the same time. How was this divided? How would they compete in the future? Which disciple was it exactly? For a moment, the 8 of them looked at each other, not knowing what to say. At this moment, Xiao Yuan pondered for a moment, then said, I think that's fine. Everyone looked at him. Long Fei was only speaking casually. He did not expect Xiao Yuan to actually agree. Xiao Yuan said, the 10 rating gift has limitless potential and can bring about great reforms to you. Right now, what the God Rare sect needs is reform. The various traditional things in the 8 halls are too old and need to be innovated before one can walk on their own path in the God Rare sect. I agree with Long Fei's suggestion to join your 8 halls. At this moment. Nonsense. With a loud shake, Ma Fenlei walked out. There were 2 emissaries beside him, and a sneer appeared on his face. Seeing Ma Fenlei, the God Rare sect disciples and elders all shouted in unison, Great Elder! Long Fei slightly lifted his eyes and thought in his heart, he is the great clan elder. Something's wrong? Golden light emitted from Ma Fenlei's body. It was incomparably dazzling, just like Golden Man Boss. There was actually a boss, and for the first time appearing, it was a boss. Moreover, this boss, Long Fei saw that the name on top of Ma Fenlei's head was actually yellow. What did the yellow name mean? This meant that at any moment, the boss could turn red and attack him. Thinking about how he shouted from ECN Peak, he thought to himself, seems like I touched his cake, which makes him very unhappy. That's why his name turned yellow. If I can make his name turn red and take the initiative to attack me, then I'll have a chance to kill him. Wanted to fight these. The corner of Long Fei's mouth drew back. I'm really too king smart. Ha ha ha. I just want to ask, who else is there? Immediately, Long Fei said, what nonsense is this? Why can't I join one of the A-halls? I'm not joining your hall. What right do you have to stop me? There was contempt in his tone. Long Fei laughed. I'm a 10 rating gift, an A descendant. You should kneel down and lick me, a super genius like me. Ma Fenglei wanted to deal with Long Fei anyway. When he heard about Long Fei in the left and right envoys, especially that devil sword, he wanted to deal with Long Fei even more. This assessment had caused him to lose a large amount of divine spirit pills, so he definitely could not let it go easily. He was just worrying that he could not find a chance to get angry at Long Fei, but he did not expect that Long Fei would come looking for him. What was this? This is what you call courting death. Ma Fenglei was secretly pleased in his heart. Brat, you're the one who is courting death. And then, Ma Fenglei's eyes turned sinister, and he shouted, how dare a thing that doesn't know his limits speak to me like that? Are you seeking death? Long Fei sneered and said, you want to die? If you have the guts, try touching me. Chapter 1763. I can deal with. Chapter 1763. I can deal with the great elder's power could not be weak. A disciple taking the examination actually dared to openly challenge him. This was humiliating him. As an outer door great presbyter, there had never been a single disciple in the outer sect who dared to disrespect him during the examinations throughout the years. Long Fei was the first one. This made him extremely unhappy. Of course, this made him very happy, because the more arrogant Long Fei was, the more he would have an excuse to attack Long Fei. Ma Fenglei stared deadly at Long Fei. Long Fei was also staring intently at the top of Ma Fenglei's head, the color of the name slowly changing. Xia Chuyuan immediately said, Great clan elder, don't take young children seriously. She lowered her voice and said, Long Fei, don't be reckless. Lu Qin, Mu Bing, and the rest did not understand why Long Fei suddenly changed. It used to be completely different. In the past, Long Fei was a lot more low profile and would always let things go, but now, he felt like they were going to do something if they didn't agree with him. What was going on? Long Fei ignored him and said, I don't know my own limits? Then does your great elder know how high the sky is and how vast the earth is? I'm not a thing. Then, you old thing, you're the one? How preposterous. How dare you? Brat, quickly shut up. Are you crazy? Many elders shouted in a low voice. Ma Fenglei laughed coldly and said, Brat, you're playing with fire and burning yourself to death. He was getting more and more excited. At the same time, anger was surging as well. Long Fei sneered and said, Great elder, the one who's going to set himself on fire is you. You control the outer sect examination. So how many divine spirit pills do you want to take from the examinees every year? 100 divine spirit pills per person pass through the examination so easily. Great elder, you're the biggest blood-sucking bug in God-Rare sect. Am I playing with fire? Have you been playing with fire for years? You're courting death. Suddenly, Ma Fenglei bellowed. Long Fei's words had already crossed his bottom line. The anger in his heart flared up. At the same time, the yellow name on top of his head instantly turned blood red. It mutated. The boss has now become a monster that can attack automatically. Long Fei's brows were tightly furrowed. He carefully stood up and said in a low voice at the same time, You two stay away from me. Huh, Sovereign, what's going on? Lu Qin asked in confusion. To offend the great clan elder in front of so many people. Was this still the calm and composed Long Fei? He could even do such an irrational thing? She couldn't understand. Xia Chuyuan did the same and softly said, Long Fei, what are you trying to do? Don't mess around. Long Fei's mouth hooked up and revealed a strange smile. as he said indifferently, "You're angry? Did I say it was painful? How could someone like you be worthy of being the great clan elder? Kid, you're dead meat." As soon as he finished, Ma Fenglei's figure moved. Wong. An explosion sounded in the air. The sky darkened. A powerful aura that could topple mountains and overturn the seas attacked Long Fei, and it was incomparably powerful. This was a formidable power that Long Fei had never encountered before. He was shocked, so strong. Xia Yuan looked up and immediately blocked in front of Long Fei, saying, "Great Elder, don't be angry. There must be some kind of misunderstanding." He could not let Ma Fenglei move against him. Long Fei's super talent was the only one who was able to earn back some face at the 10 Sexes newbie exchange this year. Ma Fenglei shouted loudly, "Xia Yuan, I don't care about your identity or what sort of person you are. Get lost now, do you understand?" Anger sword. Waves of heat waves swept through the air. The disciples of the martial arts arena were automatically blasted away. Some of the disciples could not take it any longer and immediately started trembling in fear, and their pants started to get wet. Too strong. Just the aura it emitted was enough to completely crush Long Fei. Xia Yuan did not move and said, "Great Elder, please calm your anger, otherwise. What else would happen? Do you dare to stop me?" Ma Fenglei was not afraid in the slightest as he said darkly, "In the outer sect, I am the king. Understood?" At this time, Long Fei shouted loudly, "Someone come quickly. The great clan elder wants to kill someone. Does the God Rare sect not have a law enforcement hall? The great clan elder is going to kill people. Is no one going to stop him? Murder, murder. An innocent sheep like me, a future super genius. Is there no one controlling him?" No one paid any attention to him, because he did not dare to. Just as Ma Fenglei had said, he was the king of the outer sect. He could cover the sky with one hand. Who would dare to interfere? As for his taking the divine spirit pill, this was something that everyone knew, but no one dared to say it out loud because of fear. Hearing Long Fei's shouts, Ma Fenglei shouted and said, "Brat, no one can save you today. If you dare to go against me, you are dead." Many people agreed. "You're courting death." At first, he was so arrogant, but now he's scared like a dead dog. Just like this, the 8 Ascension constellation. It's a joke. Kid, you brought this upon yourself. There are also many who sighed for Long Fei. A good genius is about to die. Why bother? So, this is what happens when you try to force your way out. Why don't you take a look at what kind of place this is? Lu Qin and the others were also a little anxious. They didn't know what Long Fei was trying to do, and it wasn't at all like the usual Long Fei. Xia Yuan said in a faint voice, "Great Elder, do you really want to kill him?" Ma Fenglei coldly snorted and said, "Xia Yuan, you think you can stop me just by yourself? Overestimating yourself." Rumble. Xia Yuan's sound wave aura was immediately broken. In the void, Ma Fenglei took a step forward, and the sword in his hand pierced through Prajna's sword. The sword imprint was like a Buddha. All around, they all rushed towards Xia Yuan. Bang, bang, bang. The sword intents from all directions immediately slashed countless bloody wounds on Xia Yuan's body, and he was forced to continuously retreat, spitting out a large mouthful of blood as he fell to the ground. Ma Fenglei bellowed, "You're not my match at all. If I hadn't shown mercy, you would have already died." The Prajna sword was incomparably sharp. Xia Yuan was simply unable to resist them. Everyone was slightly surprised. At this time, Ma Fenglei stared at Long Fei and said, "Brat, I will hack you into 8 pieces." Before he could finish his sentence, his figure disappeared. Long Fei's location was wrapped up by a ball of aura, and the sword intent of the Prajna sword flooded into his sea of consciousness from all directions, forming a strong pressure that made him feel extremely uncomfortable. Long Fei's sea of consciousness was incomparably uncomfortable. His body couldn't control it, and furthermore, he could clearly feel that his blasting fist was being suppressed by some kind of powerful force. Blasting fist. Annihilate everything with a single punch. Previously, he thought that no one could stop the blasting fist, but now he did not think so. The same was true for cultivation techniques. Master, Big Brother Long Fei. It was also at this time. With a flash of white, the desperate man appeared. However, the moment he appeared, Long Fei moved and said, "I can deal with him. Don't appear. I can deal with it." Chapter 1764, Boss, Go Ahead and Attack. Chapter 1764, Boss, Go Ahead and Attack. How strong was the desperate man? Long Fei didn't know, but he knew that the bodyguard his mother left him was not weak. Moreover, the existence of a desperate man was one of Long Fei's trump cards. This trump card cannot be easily revealed. He would form a trump card. Then again, what if the desperate man is weak? It would be too embarrassing to try to block the bullet. Long Fei wanted to endure it himself. In the past, the blasting fist was unstoppable and no one could stop it. But now that he had finally encountered a crushing defeat, he had to endure it. Stiff. To do away with everything. Combat mode activate. Boom. Long Fei's body released a ray of bloodlight. His entire body was scarlet red. Humph. Brat. So what if you can use that technique? 8-star realm. Not even qualified to lick my shoes. Go to hell. Also, give me everything you have, ha-ha. Ma Fenglei shouted in fury. The power of the Prajna sword. The sword imprints surged over from all directions as they crushed everything in their path. Powerful slaughter. Xia Qiyuan's heart was dead silent. He was willing to die to avoid seeing Long Fei die, because he saw traces of hope for the rise of the God Rare sect on Long Fei. But now, this hope was about to be shattered. Sigh. Long Fei. Oh, Long Fei. Why didn't you listen to my advice? Why did you suddenly become so irritable? Xia Qiyuan felt bitter in his heart. A super genius is about to die. Sigh. Why are you doing this? Incomparable pain. Xia Qiyuan watched as the great clan elder's sword stabbed down. His eyes slightly closed and did not dare to continue watching. In this kind of situation, Long Fei was dead for sure. How could an 8-star expert be a match for a 9th-stage green star powerhouse? The ranks of Devil Island were as follows: Star, Yellow Star, Green Star, Blue Star, Red Star, Purple Star, Black Star, Silver Star, and Venus. Grade 1 to 9. Impossible. Everyone believed that Long Fei would definitely die. The desperate man who was silently hiding in the darkness did not disappear like Long Fei had said. He stared intently at Ma Fenglei, as he would definitely not let Long Fei receive any damage. Moreover, a life-seizing sword appeared in his hand. His level. He was a very terrifying existence. However, even he didn't know. How could the person Mu Wan'er was looking for be weak? At this moment, Long Fei was in combat mode, and all of his attributes had increased. At the same time, his fists also sunk. Wong. The explosive power of a deity surged. Raising his eyes in the corner of his mouth, he said, "Enter the attack range." "You're dead." Ma Fenglei laughed coldly and said, "Brat, what did you say just now?" Long Fei clenched his fists tightly. Wong. The hurricane burst boxing was already prepared. Long Fei revealed a deathly smile as he said each word. "I said you are dead." One word at a time. Every word was filled with killing intent. "Ha!" Ma Fenglei laughed out loud. "You are right, you are dead." The sword stabbed down. Everyone's eyes narrowed. At the critical moment, both of Long Fei's fists punched out towards the sky, blasting fist. Boom, boom. 2 streams of light shot out from his fists, striking from left and right. Like tracking missiles, they blasted towards Ma Fenglei. At this moment, Ma Fenglei's sword descended, and its speed was as fast as lightning. Under these circumstances, quick, 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 speed, speed. This was a competition of speed. If Ma Fenglei's sword strike arrived first, Long Fei would definitely die. He would die first. Under these circumstances, even if he killed Ma Fenglei, it would be useless. Long Fei glared at him angrily. There was no longer time to summon the Holy Spirit Angel. There was no longer any cultivation technique that he could release. He could only brace himself and wait. His life was hanging by a thread. This feeling was not good. Rumble. Almost at the same time, the blasting fist came down. Ma Fenglei's great wisdom sword pierced down, causing two bursts of power to explode outwards. Boom! Boom! Long Fei's body retreated explosively. The long sword pierced into his body. The powerful great Buddha palm unscrupulously struck his body, and it was incomparably uncomfortable. The Sleeping Beauty was suddenly awakened and asked, "Master, what happened?" Boom! Rumble! Ding! System notification. Player Long Fei's alchemy inherent skill has been broken. Ding! System notification. Player Long Fei's artifact forging inherent skill has been broken. Ding! System notification. Player Long Fei's inscription inherent skill has been broken. Notifications sounded one after another. This was transformed by the Sleeping Beauty. It did not belong to the system. The moment the Hanya sword intent rushed into Long Fei's body, his body subconsciously tried to defend, but the innate abilities of the Sleeping Beauty, who was the first to be affected by the attack, were all shattered from the shock. It was extremely uncomfortable. With just a thought, he could destroy everything. It was also because of these 8 talents that Long Fei was so proud that he lived. Otherwise, his mind would have been severed and his sea of consciousness would collapse. Had cultivated Prajna's sword for his entire life, and he had already cultivated to the peak realm, its power was too strong. Pucci! Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was pale as he checked the health point above his head. Ma Fenglei sneered as he looked at Long Fei. Unexpectedly, I'm not dead yet, but your talent should have already been cut off, right? You're already a piece of trash, huh? Kick. With this sword, I will cut off your life palace. Long Fei steadied himself and said faintly, "Great Elder, do you still have any strength left? Can't you feel that you're already dying?" As soon as he finished, boom, with an explosion, a hole suddenly appeared in his chest. Blood gushed out. Ma Fenglei's pupil shrank as he shouted, I can't, I kid you. Your sister." Long Fei wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He did not care about the few ranks of inherent skill. With the system in his hands, he did not care about the negative inherent skill. Thus, the inherent skills of the Sleeping Beauty had all shattered. Long Fei did not pay attention to them. However, the Sleeping Beauty, on the other hand, was extremely concerned. Even her tears had started to flow. It was not because these gifts were ruined, but because of how much pain Long Fei would have to endure when these gifts were destroyed. It was extremely uncomfortable. "Girl, don't cry. As long as you like it, you can still help me change it." Long Fei felt the Sleeping Beauty's tears. The Sleeping Beauty shook her head and said, "It's already impossible to change. Even if I could, I wouldn't help you change it. My master, I'm sorry. I forced my thoughts onto you. I want you to become perfect. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I've made you suffer too much. Fool, if it wasn't for you, I'm afraid I would already be dead." Long Fei was very clear that if not for his inherent skill sharing the damage, he would already be a dead man now. No, save me, save me. I don't want to die. At this moment, the Great Elder shouted and went crazy. Explosions continuously exploded from his body. Every time it exploded, the amount of blood on his head would decrease by a large amount. Finally, the head exploded and the amount of blood drained from his body. Long Fei grinned and laughed sinisterly. "Boss, go ahead and kill him, ha ha." Chapter 1765, The 8 Immortals Cripple Him. Chapter 1765, The 8 Immortals Cripple Him. Boom. A loud sound burst out, followed by a system notification sound. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Ma Fenglei for obtaining 2 million experience, 100,000 holy power value, and 1 metamorphic energy value. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining the Prajna sword for release and cultivation. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining God's Pill 1008. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Divine Grade Bone Ablutionary Dan Bead. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Spirit Sword. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. A series of explosions sounded out. To Long Fei, this voice was the most wonderful and pleasant voice in the world. It was simply a kind of enjoyment. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 9-star God. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the bossma Feng Lei above his level. You have obtained a special reward from the system. Another special reward? System, you're being too nice to me. Ha! Long Fei moved, her heart becoming nervous. What kind of special reward is it? At this moment, a gift box appeared in his system interface. The idea moved and gently clicked it. Ding! Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining Thunder God. Do you wish to receive it? Rachel, a skill from Fire Shadow. Moreover, where's a god? Long Fei laughed. Receive, we must receive. How can anyone not receive Carsey's skills? Rachel, the ninja lightning evasion technique. On top of that, it could also fuse more abilities into the foundation of the lightning evasion. It wasn't as powerful as the divine lightning evasion, nor any other techniques. At this moment, the system beeped again. Ding! System notification. Will you fuse the sesame fruit with a lightning cut? Long Fei was a little confused. Master System, are you really omnipotent? You want to fuse the Fire Shadow and the thing inside the One Piece? Damn, isn't this a little too overpowered? Fuse! Without saying a word, Long Fei gave the order. And then, Long Fei's sesame fruit and Rachel disappeared, and a fusion progress bar appeared in the system interface. The progress was a little slow, and the system was slowly moving forward. The slower the fusion, the stronger the large object created by the fusion. Long Fei secretly thought, I would actually like to see what kind of thing you can fuse with. Just as Long Fei was about to reveal something in his drunken state, the entire world seemed to have become extremely quiet. Everyone was staring at Long Fei, not even blinking an eye. He killed the Great Elder with a single punch. It was like a dream. This was too unbelievable. At the same time that they were shocked, the anger in the hearts of many people surged. An examination disciple actually killed the Great Elder. Was he really here for the assessment? Or could it be that Long Fei had come prepared for the Great Clan Elder? Suddenly, where's the law enforcement hall? An elder shouted loudly. A disciple of the law enforcement hall shouted and rushed out. It instantly surrounded Long Fei. Lu Qin, Mu Bing, Lei Jiao, and Li Ruhua all quickly rushed towards Long Fei. Sovereign, Master! Mu Bing shouted for a few times before he finally reacted. After being stunned for a moment, he asked, "What's wrong?" Seeing that he was surrounded, his eyebrows sunk. He immediately understood what had happened and took a step forward. What did I do wrong? It was the Great Elder who wanted to kill me. He attacked me first. Standing here for him to kill? Exactly. Is there anything else that can be reasoned with in God-Rare's sect? It was obviously the Great Elder who made the first move. Now that he has been killed, we have to group attack. Are you being reasonable or not? So many people are watching. Lu Qin and Mu Bing quickly explained. The elder shouted. So what if the Great Clan Elder attacked first? I suspect that you are a spy from another sect. What is your purpose for coming to God-Rare's sect? Speak. A cesspool was caught. To let an outer door great presbyter be killed by a disciple taking the examination. What kind of insult was this? To the entire God-Rare sect, this was a form of humiliation. This proved how strong Long Fei was. They only thought that they had been humiliated. Long Fei laughed coldly and said, "What a good shit bowl. I came to the God-Rare sect in order to become a disciple of the God-Rare sect. But I didn't expect me to actually be said to be a disciple of another sect. If you have the guts, come and get it. I am Long Fei. Accept them all. F***CK. Long Fei roared. This old one has never been afraid. Not afraid, not afraid. If you want to play, I'll play with you until the end. The corners of the elder's eyes twitched. This is too arrogant. You've completely lost your talent. Do you really think you have the qualifications to be arrogant? A mere god realm cultivator, an existence akin to an ant. Today, I want to see how much more savage you can be. As soon as he finished, a gust of wind swept over, and the figure was as fast as he may, making it difficult to see his movements clearly. Xia Chuyuan reacted and shouted, "Second Elder, stop!" However, without waiting for him to finish speaking, the Elder swung his palm towards Long Fei's head. Lu Qin blocked in front of Long Fei and took out his sword. "Get out of my way!" Boom! His aura was like a raging tide, directly pushing Lu Qin back from the impact and causing him to fall to the ground, his face extremely pale. Long Fei saw this, and his anger surged. "You King, touch my woman. Even the gods can't save you." He could not even see the shadow of an elder, and his speed was simply too fast, which was not something he could handle, but Long Fei rushed forward. What is he doing? Is he courting death? Or should I say, did he just use that move again? It doesn't look like it. The Second Elder and the Great Elder's cultivations are equal. That boy is definitely going to die. The blasting fist was cooling. Long Fei's own level was thousands of miles away from that Elder's. He wasn't a match at all. However, he had the system. Sensing the strong gale rushing towards them, Long Fei's idea exploded and shouted loudly, "Eight immortals, come out together! Kill him for me!" Buzz! The 8 immortals charged out. Lu Dongbin's sword pierced through the void. The Elder didn't even have time to react before his body sank down from the sky, and he shouted, "Who are you?" Iron Crutchley laughed like a Mithra. "Eat my crutch." Crack! The Second Elder's leg was broken as soon as the iron sword was thrown. "Eat my donkey hooves." Elder Zhang was little donkey, suddenly moved and directly kicked the Second Elder onto the ground. Following that, the 8 immortals encircled him. Punches and kicks. Inhumane. Long Fei was completely dumbfounded. His heart was shaken. Fuck. These were the 8 immortals? It's a black art. Isn't that too cruel? However, I like it. Chapter 1766, First Disciple, Fong Tianhan. Chapter 1766, First Disciple, Fong Tianhan too brutal. The 8 immortals were absolutely miserable. His face was bruised and swollen. He was covered in wounds. The key point was that the Second Elder was screaming on the ground. Other than him being able to see the 8 immortals, no one else could. It was as if he was going insane. "Who are you? Who are you?" Long Fei walked to his side and said, "Did you see that? This is how arrogant I am. Kill me." Who killed who? The Second Elder had been beaten to a state where he was incapable of taking care of himself. The Second Clan Elder stared at Long Fei and asked, "Who are they? Are they humans or ghosts?" He was going crazy. His mind was in a breakdown because he had never seen these strange people, riding donkeys, holding on to crutches, and someone carrying a basket. What kind of strange people were these? Moreover, one was stronger than the other. He wasn't a match for them at all. Were immortals that easy to deal with? The surrounding people were all dumbstruck. They had all thought that Long Fei would die, but the opposite is true. What's going on? What happened? Are we hallucinating? This. They could not speak. Long Fei looked at the last bit of blood on the Second Elder's head and said, "So what if you touch my woman? I too will kill him." "Stop! Long Fei, stop!" A large group of people had arrived in the sky. Seeing that, Xia Chuyuan also anxiously shouted out, "Long Fei, quickly stop." One more Great Elder had already died, so no matter how one more Second Elder died, the outer sect would inevitably be severely injured. Furthermore, Long Fei's identity would be redefined. If it really was a spy from another sect or something, then he definitely would not be able to escape death. The Second Elder laughed sinisterly. "Haha, Elder of Inner House is here, little brat. Do you dare to touch a single hair on my head? Ha ha ha! You want to kill me? Dream on. When I recover, it will be the day of your death." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei slapped his palm down. "You're so noisy, call me your sister." This slap was with all his strength. In addition to the small amount of HP left on top of the second elder's head, this attack had caused his face to turn malevolent and the wound on his head to instantly disappear. Bah! Whose death date? Long Fei cursed. The system sounded out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Second Elder for obtaining 80,000 experience points, 80,000 holy power value, and 1 metamorphic energy value. Damn! This is the difference between a normal monster and a boss. The difference in experience points is many times greater than a boss, and they haven't dropped anything yet. This is too darned. Long Fei retorted in his heart. At this moment, Xiao Chuyuan stood there dumbstruck, his eyes unmoving as he looked at Long Fei. The people in the sky above also started to descend one by one. Every time he landed on the ground, there would be a loud explosion, as if there was a muffled explosion. All of their auras were imbued with godly powers, and the patterns beneath their feet brought with them light waves. These people were all first-class powerhouse existences of the Elder of Inner House. Moreover, the first impression that they gave Long Fei was that they couldn't kill him, even if it was the blasting fist. Even killing Ma Fenglei would be difficult with the blasting fist, so dealing with these Elder of Inner House would be even worse, unless it was a sneak attack. Devil Island is much stronger than I imagined. Long Fei's heart tightened. At this moment, a young disciple rushed forward and struck out with his palm towards Long Fei. The divine power around his body glowed with a golden light as it smashed down heavily. Long Fei crossed his hands together in defense. But, boom, 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 his body exploded as he continuously retreated. The bluestone floor on the ground cracked all the way, causing the bones in Long Fei's arms to crack. His mind, consciousness, and mind were overturned. The attack comes with divine light and flames. What a powerful strength! The divine power with divine flames has already reached the highest realm, right? This cultivation is at least at the Blue Star realm. So powerful. Senior brother is so handsome. The crowd burst into cheers. Divine light flames were similar to the buff effect of an ancient dragon. Each move radiated a golden light. This was the characteristic of a realm. Blue Star realm. The young disciple looked to be less than 30 years old, but his cultivation was shockingly high. Long Fei retreated more than 10 meters before stopping. The last move he made with his health point. Less than 10% remained. If he used another move, he would die. Immediately, he swallowed a few healing pellets consecutively, his health point recovering just a little bit. With a dark look in his eyes, the idea connected to the goddess scroll and started to be on guard. Kid, I told you to stop. Why didn't you stop? The young disciple glared at him. Long Fei shouted coldly. Who do you think you are? Why should I stop? How dare you be so arrogant? It seems like if I don't teach you a lesson today, you don't know how powerful I, Fong Tianhan, am. As soon as the young man finished speaking, he moved again. He is Fong Tianhan, the #1 disciple of God Rare Sect, a super genius with martial arts training talent. I heard that he broke through to Blue Star Realm 10 years ago. What level has his cultivation reached now? Too cool. Senior brother Fong, teach this kid a lesson. Otherwise, he would think that there is no one in our God Rare sect. Fong Tianhan, the #1 disciple of the God Rare sect, one of the most outstanding new generation. He was also the sect master's direct disciple. He was young and possessed extraordinary talent. It was also because of this that he was arrogant and looked down on everyone else. However, it was only natural for Powerhouse to not be arrogant. Also, because he, Ma Fenglei, had become an outer door great presbyter. At the same time, Fong Tianhan was also grateful to Ma Fenglei. Facing Fong Tianhan, launching another move, the center of Long Fei's brows tightened. Not afraid in the slightest, he reminded the people beside him in a low voice, all of you, stay away from me. He didn't want them involved. Long Fei also slowly stepped forward. Your father doesn't care about whether you're the #1 disciple or some crappy disciple. You want to touch me? Let's see if you have the ability to do so. Not afraid. He just wouldn't submit. At this moment, suddenly, Xia Chuyuan appeared between the two of them and took out an order badge from his chest pocket. The token flashed a light that shot up to the sky. Fong Tianhan's face trembled. Sect leader's decree. As long as one was a member of the God-Rare sect, regardless of whether it was a disciple or an elder, they all knelt down and said with a heavy voice, "We greet the sect master." Long Fei was slightly taken aback. Fong Tianhan did not kneel down and asked, "How did you get the sect master's order?" Xia Chuyuan slightly said, "Fong Tianhan, why aren't you kneeling down when you see the sect master?" The corner of Fong Tianhan's eyes twitched. He stared at Long Fei, then looked at him and coldly said, "I'm not kneeling. So what can you do?" While he was speaking, he took another step and walked towards Long Fei. Chapter 1767, Can I Make My Move Now? Chapter 1767, Can I Make My Move Now? The sect master token could not suppress Fong Tianhan. He continued to walk towards Long Fei. His speed was not fast and could be said to be a little slow. However, every step he took was filled with golden light, and those who got close to him were automatically repelled. They were completely unable to resist the aura coming from his body. He moved out a path on his own. When Fong Tianhan walked to Xia Chuyuan's side, he icily said, "You two, scram to the side." Buzz! Bam! The aura fiercely collided with each other. Xia Chuyuan was directly sent flying, smashing heavily onto the ground. He spat out a mouthful of blood, his face pale white, as he spoke with difficulty. "Long Fei, run. Run. Humph. Where can he go?" A cold smile hung from the corners of Fong Tianhan's mouth as he said in disdain, "Brat, you're still not a disciple of God-Rare sect yet, and you still dare to kill Outer Door Great Presbyter. If you're a disciple of God-Rare sect, then wouldn't you still want to go to heaven? Elder Ma treated me as a favor, so in order to repay him, I'll take revenge for him. At least it can be considered as repaying his debt." He spoke very casually. However, there was a strong, killing intent in his eyes. Being stared at in such a way made Long Fei feel like he was a living fish on a chopping block, ready to be slaughtered. This feeling was not good, but Long Fei did not leave. Long Fei said, "He wants to kill me. He's dead. The second elder wants to kill me. He's dead too. Now, you want to kill me too. What will happen next? Humph, you're really arrogant. Just based on what you said just now, you're already going to die 10 times. Fong Tianhan suddenly stopped. Suddenly, Fong Tianhan's eyes turned cold, so it was like a beam of light, fading away in the blink of an eye. The chill was oppressive. Long Fei felt as if he had instantly fallen into another time and space. The 9 heavens and 10 earth were filled with killing intent. In this concept space, he was like an ant that was tightly gripped in someone's hand. If he used even a little bit of strength, he would die. Not good. Not good. Very bad. But Long Fei could do nothing. The blasting fist was cooling down. The 8 immortals were in the midst of cooling down. And Holy Spirit Angel was completely useless. Even if Holy Spirit Defense was immune to 99% of the attack, just 1% of the attack would be enough to kill Long Fei more than 100 times. Fong Tianhan was too strong. The number 1 disciple of the God-Rare sect, an unparalleled genius of the 10 rating gift. His strength was ridiculously strong. In front of him, Long Fei had no room to retaliate. "Kid, how do you feel about the killing inner space of the 9 heavens and 10 earth? It's great, isn't it? Ha!" Fong Tianhan started to laugh complacently. He was not in a hurry to kill Long Fei. He was just like a cat catching a mouse. As soon as he finished, the expressions of the elder of Inner House S that followed along changed and revealed a shocked expression. Killing inner space of the 9 heavens and 10 earth? Could it be that he has already mastered it? This is a super divine rank cultivation technique left behind by the flying goddess. I never thought that it would be cultivated in a short 3 years. As expected of Fong Tianhan, who can resist the killing intent of the 9 heavens and 10 earth? This kid is dead for sure. Ha ha! the number one disciple of the God-rare sect, indeed worthy of his name. Many people began to laugh. It was because the 9 days and 10 places killing space that Fong Tianhan trained in was too hard to cultivate. In the entire God-rare sect, other than the current sect master, no one else could comprehend the first stage. However, Fong Tianhan had actually comprehended it. What did this mean? The number one person under the sect master. Sect master only reached the first stage after cultivating for dozens of years. On the other hand, had only comprehended for a short 3 years, which was enough to prove that his talent was incomparably powerful. In the 9 heavens and 10 earth, your killing intent is extremely strong. Killing intent. The living will die, the dead will perish, and no one can stop them. That kid is dead for sure. Killing intent raged as the 9 heavens and 10 earth madly crushed. Within these killing inner space of the 9 heavens and 10 earth, Long Fei was able to withstand the limitless body pressure. Like the ocean floor that was tens of thousands of meters deep, all of the pores on his body were pressed to the point where he bled. All of a sudden, Long Fei's entire body was covered in blood, and his health point was plummeting crazily. Ha ha, kid, how arrogant. Ha ha ha. Fong Tianhan laughed proudly. Xia Chuyuan stood up, rushed forward, and said, Fong Tianhan, stop right there. Long Fei could not die. A level of 8 stars was enough to defeat Ma Fenglei. Second Elder, this kind of person was a genius. He would be the one who would earn face for the God-rare sect in this year's 10 sects exchange, so nothing should happen to Long Fei. Xia Chuyuan did not hesitate to take out his sect master's order. However, he didn't think that Fong Tianhan was actually not afraid. Xia Chuyuan, are you courting death? How dare you command me? Fong Tianhan's eyes stared wide open as a ray of coldness flashed within them, and a ray of red light also flashed within his eyes. A blood-red red light. It was as if he had been possessed. Killing intent. It was the easiest way to breed inner demons. Once the inner demon was born, he would lose control of his mind, especially when he was stimulated by some external force. He would become even more manic. However, Fong Tianhan's current state was still under his control. A red light flashed. He flung his sleeves fiercely, and a wave of qi directly sent Xia Chuyuan flying. He snorted coldly. This is the second time. If there's a third time, you'll die. Bam! Xia Chuyuan smashed onto the ground and spat out another mouthful of blood. At this time, Lu Qin and Mu Bing rushed forward, but did not wait for them to pull out their swords. 2 more for abuse. I'm not some man that has mercy on the fair sex. Boom, boom. The crazed aura directly blew Lu Qin and Mu Bing away. Lei Jiu raised his sleeves and said, I'm going all out. With a heavy head, he charged forward. Humph. Fong Tianhan laughed disdainfully. A bunch of trash. Boom. Lei Jiu was also blasted out. Everyone was injured, and they couldn't even get close to Fong Tianhan. Many people were excited. Fong Tianhan was simply too strong. At this moment, Long Fei's consciousness started to blur. The amount of blood left on the top of his head was only 2 digits, and it was still falling. His life was in danger. Ha ha ha. Kid, F*CK. You're so impatient to play. You fainted just like that? Too trashy. How boring. Never mind, then go to hell. Fong Tianhan immediately lost all interest. With a move of the idea, the killing inner space S of the 9 heavens and 10 earth started surging. Long Fei's body floated, suspended in midair. One of the elders laughed as he looked up at the sky. It's going to explode soon. This is the first stage of the 9 heavens and 10 great earth. Immediately, Long Fei closed his eyes. He was extremely weak. Can I make my move now? A voice appeared in Long Fei's mind. Long Fei wanted to agree, but he could not say it. Forget it. I'm making my move. Chapter 1768, The Scholar Who Lies with the Wind. Chapter 1768, The Scholar Who Lies with the Wind. The voice came from the darkness. From the desperate man. It came even more from the voice that controlled his consciousness. When he saw Long Fei floating in midair with his life hanging by a thread, he couldn't control it at all. When the killing intent from the 9 heavens above Fong Tianhan gushed towards his heart, his expression suddenly changed. His pupils constricted to the point where they were as fast as wheat, and cold sweat seeped out of his forehead. At this moment, Buzz, Poochie, a white shadow flashed past. Fong Tianhan's body immediately exploded outwards, falling to the ground and rolling around. The stones around him shattered, as if he was a heavy machine that had appeared before it had been crushed. Bam! After crashing into the wall, he stopped. Puff! He spat out a mouthful of blood, his face pale and his eyes weak. Just for a moment, he could not even see the person. He only saw a string of white shadows, and then that sword technique that he could not dodge. It was too strong, his mind was completely crushed, and even the killing inner space as he released from the 9 heavens and 10 earth were instantly shattered. One move of slay. Who? Come out! Fong Tianhan roared and looked around. The surrounding people also had a face full of astonishment, their eyes glazed over, as they looked at Fong Tianhan without knowing what had just happened, and as if everything was a dream. What was going on? Why would Fong Tianhan appear there? Who made a move? I didn't see it. Did that kid make his move? Impossible. He had already fallen into a coma. What the hell is going on? They didn't know what had happened in that instant. Who is it? If you have the guts, then come out. Fong Tianhan crawled up with some difficulty. He had never suffered such a loss before. Never. The rage within his heart surged, and he was extremely displeased. He was God Rare Sect's #1 disciple. He was the strongest disciple in the God Rare Sect for several hundred years. Right now, the God Rare Sect was relying on him to keep up appearances. Who would dare to make a move on him? His current sorry state had caused him to lose a lot of face, and in that instant, Fong Tianhan fiercely rushed out. Bastard, then he must die. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Asterisk's speed was like the wind, constantly flashing and changing his position. In his right hand, the sword moved again, and a raging sword intent surged out with a strong killing intent. A blood-red light flashed in his eyes. His eyes were bloodshot. The inner demons were out of control. Fong Tianhan's eyes stared at the unconscious Long Fei and said, "I'll see if you can come out." Buzz! A single sword strike swept the ground and brought it tumbling out of the ground. Bang, bang, bang. A stream of sword chi that could be seen with the naked eye shot out explosively. If it were to hit Long Fei, his body would be split into 2 halves. Humph! Let's see how you will dodge that. Before he could finish, Fong Tianhan suddenly stopped. He raised his eyes and suddenly felt his heart tremble. 9 days. 9 days. 10 days. Who exactly am I IUU in killing inner space? His position suddenly changed. Completely unwittingly, he didn't discover anything and directly entered this kind of killing inner space of the 9 heavens and 10 hells. How strong was this? This killing inner space of the 9 heavens and 10 earth was much more powerful than what he cultivated. This caused Fong Tianhan's heart to sink even further. Who are you? Who exactly are you? To be honest, Fong Tianhan asked the desperate man who he was, and he did not know himself. Moreover, he did not even know what the 9 days and 10 places killing space he had released was. He only knew that he could release it. Especially when he saw Fong Tianhan using this move, it felt like his consciousness had awakened by a tiny bit, released naturally. He didn't even know what was going on. How strong was he? How deep? He had no idea. Buzz. The sword chi released by Fong Tianhan was destroyed, and at the same time, his body floated up uncontrollably as the killing intent from the 9 heavens and 10 earth poured into his heart. First stage. Heartburst. He knew what it was. Fong Tianhan was afraid. This was the first time in his life that he had felt fear. His face was pale as a sheet. He continuously struggled and yelled, "Let me go, let me go." Killing intent surged within his body. In the end, Fong Tianhan pleaded for mercy. "Let me go, I beg you, let me go, I don't dare anymore. Don't kill me, I beg you, don't kill me." Desperate Man did not stop. Killing intent still raged. Amongst the killing interspace S of the 9 heavens and 10 hells, Fong Tianhan was equally powerless to resist. The surrounding elders reacted, especially the elder of Inner House that came with Fong Tianhan. They all looked anxious as they said loudly, "This is God Rare's sect. If you dare touch him, we will definitely chase you to the end. Let him go. Hurry up and let him go." Who is Fong Tianhan? He was hailed as the disciple of God Rare's sect's hope. If something were to happen to him, then the God Rare sect of this year's exchange would definitely be pressured down. Once he lost his position as 10 sects, his future days would be even more difficult. Many elders were extremely anxious. Even Xia Chuyuan couldn't help but say, "I don't know which lord would like to request that you be magnanimous and spare his life." The killing intent was still surging. It did not stop. Fong Tianhan's body started to tremble as he pitifully begged for mercy. Suddenly, the sky darkened. A flash of golden light descended from the sky, followed by a middle-aged man wearing a golden robe. At this moment, Fong Tianhan released the power that was holding onto his life, saving straw of grass. "Master, save me! Master! The Grand Master is here!" God Rare Sect Lord, Zhang Sanqian, the #1 person in God Rare Sect, Powerhouse. He abruptly landed and wielded his longsword. Buzz! From all directions, the swords beside all the disciples began to hum as they emitted a trembling sound. Shua! The 9 days and 10 places killing space released by the Desperate Man was destroyed. Fong Tianhan also fell from midair. He was so scared that his face turned pale. He roared and scolded, "You dog! Now that my master is here, you must die." Zhang Sanqian's eyes swept the area, stared at a spot, and said, "How do you know the 9 days and 10 places killing space?" Not waiting for him to finish, Desperate Man stared at Fong Tianhan again. Fong Tianhan truly walked towards Long Fei. Zhang Sanqian's gaze tensed up, and his figure turned into a shooting star. At this moment, a white shadow flashed. The two sword intents suddenly clashed. Golden light shot out in all directions, and at the same time it bounced off. The cultivation of the two of them was neither strong nor weak. Zhang Sanqian's heart trembled greatly, not because of Desperate Man's cultivation, but because the aura on his body was the same as the aura on the God Rare Sect disciples. It was just like how the Desperate Man was created from cultivation in the God Rare Sect. Who is it? Other than the great clan elders, there was no other opponent in God Rare Sect that could match him. Who was his age? Zhang Sanqian's heart flipped. However, Desperate Man moved again. At this moment, Zhang Sanqian's expression changed greatly. Second stage of the 9 days and 10 places killing space. That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.